Hey everyone, welcome to Watch It Paint It. I'm back, guys. I'm back. I'm going to do another stream. I enjoyed the last stream. Loads of you joined in, took part in the comments, and I just enjoyed it. So I thought I'll do another one because I still can't edit any videos. Wow. So go straight to YouTube. I don't have to edit any of it. It just means it's really long. So in this video, I'm going to be painting some more of Death May Die, Cthulhu Death May Die. And I thought, you know, last time I did 5 miniatures, so 4 of them were only small. If you guys missed that stream, you're talking about these are the small ones, and you also haven't actually seen the final finished product yet. 'Cause I tidied them up a little bit off of stream, so I did 4 of these guys. It pulled a little bit underneath, but they're a bit hoardy. I don't care. It was worth it. It only took 5 or 10 minutes per one of those, and then I also finished and did a little bit more work on what was his name? Haster. That rings a bell. So I managed to get these red balls looking how I wanted, a bit glowy, and painted back in the black veins on top. And then I also added some red dry brushing here. Just tidied it up a little bit, added some extra layers of the yellow up here, fading upwards, so that it's just a bit darker at the bottom. Really like how that came out. Again, it was contrast. It only took a few hours, and it's a big miniature. And I was doing it behind a camera and on stream as well. What I would like to do is get my chat in front of me so I can see if anybody cares about me today. And as it turns out, that's harder to do than I thought. Does this not show up on YouTube somewhere? Can I not just go to my channel and view the video myself? Where is it? How do I get there? I'm gonna have to keep turning all the way around to have a look. We shall see. See, at the moment, I don't even know if it's working. How are you supposed to know? Streaming's hard, guys. Streaming's technically difficult. But I guess what we're going to be painting is, and the names of these things are ridiculous. If you don't know Cthulhu, Lovecraftian stuff like I don't, the hunting horror is fairly obvious. That's these two, and I'm going to go for both of those in one go because I think it's all going to be contrast. It's all going to be super quick. Not going to spend very much time on these guys. And then which one's this? Is this Shaggy? I think this one's Shaggy. And then this one's like C something. We'll call him Seaman. And I'm going to be painting him. And I think they're going to be all a bit similar. They all look a bit dark, a bit dingy in the artwork. Let's have a look. Where's my artwork? I've got some artwork kicking around. So this is this sea doggy fella. I think he's going to be some greys and some flesh tones. And he's probably actually the hardest of them all. And we'll probably do some highlighting afterwards. Exactly the same as Haster, where I did this base coat of, contrast paints quite quickly, quite easily, and then it's just about adding those details, adding the blending with the highlights, and taking a quick job to a really nice looking job, but hopefully really nice looking. I think I did, especially because yellow is so difficult, and like that's probably as good as I could do with normal paint, and I did it with super quick, super easy contrast. So this one's probably going to be the hardest. What else have we got? So the hunting horrors, I don't know what to do with these. That just looks so dull. So I'll probably copy along the artwork to begin with. So they're going to start off dull, and then we might work on them and make it a little bit more interesting. I think some colour in his wings, similar to the examples during the Kickstarter. We could go for something like that. And then the final guy is the Shaggy, and see, he's boring as well. He's going to be grey. See, there's a theme. They're all a bit grey. Going to do some colour in his mouth and then painting on some jewels for eyes, I think, something like that. So it's going to be quite a simple job, hopefully. That's why I went for 4. Although they're big, and big miniatures take a long time to apply paint to, no matter which way you do them. Hey, Julio. Hey, Austin. Hey, Mike. Hey, everyone. Loads of people in the chat. Oh, excellent. Heroes and Bosses is assembling a thing. Assembling a thing. Who knows what that is? Anybody know what that is other than Heroes and Bosses? I'm not even sure he knows what it is, if I was completely honest. Let me see if I can get the chat in front of me. This is going to be tedious. Like, welcome to the video of me trying to use technology. How do you do it? Like, does this show up on YouTube? Has anyone seen if the video is like shows up on the channel somewhere? Like, I don't understand. I thought last time, I'm sure you just went to the channel and it was like, oh, Watch It Paint is live at the moment. So just followed along watching. Let's see if I switch accounts. So another one. Oh, okay, it is live. You can't see it yourself. That's not very helpful. Hey, menu. Here we go. Right, at last, I can see the chat in front of me. Let's get on with something. Let's do some painting. So anyway, just before I start off, a big thank you, guys. If you don't know, my laptop's been stolen, so I am doing live streams because I can't edit it currently. And I set up a GoFundMe because a lot of people asked to donate. So massive thank you to the guys that have done that. That includes Darren C, Alex H, Sarah K, and Andrew W as well. Thank you, massively appreciate the help. I know it's a big goal. We don't have to hit that goal. That was the top of the range laptop, just because any of you other YouTubers out there knows how long and tedious editing is, and my laptop used to be really slow. I got on with it, you know, I did a video a week, so you guys are fully aware. I cracked on with it, but it was not fun using a slow laptop. So I've gone for the highest, the fastest one, just to get jobs done, but any help on the way is obviously massively appreciated, and I can buy a cheaper one. It doesn't have to be the best one. I just thought it gives a goal, right? A goal's a goal. And I can just remove some RAM or some hard drive space and stuff like that, no matter what. So thank you, massively appreciate it, guys. As well, if you join Patreon, it's a very similar help. So which one should we start with, guys? Anybody got a favourite that they'd like to see some paint go on first? I think I need to see them all again. Okay, so he's so much harder than the rest. The Sea Dog, he's just infinitely more difficult. Maybe I should start with him. Nah, start with the easy ones. Let's just flick through them again. So this one's few colours, but probably grey or black is the main. This guy's, that's definitely black. And this one's black as well. So let's start with black. Let's do these three. Let's get Sea Dog out of the way because that's going to be horrendous. So I'm going to start with Contrast's Black Templar. I should mention I've not got the primer in front of me, but they've all been primed in the same grey sear. I think that's the right one. The contrast paint, the contrast primer. I normally complain that I'm not even entirely sure that you need the contrast primers. In this case, I don't have a primer that's this colour, this slightly grey white, so it's actually quite useful to have that colour, full stop. So maybe in this case, it is a good choice. Hey Chroma, welcome to the stream. Chubby Rollers, hello. The one with the, oh no, what does that say? The one with the what first? The feet? My eyesight's not good enough. The ones with the lafette first and second with wings last. Oh no, these guys last. You're probably right. They're probably the dullest. So, I mean, to be fair, I'm just going to cover them all in black. So they're just going to be drying for the remainder of the video. That's going to be that. So I'll just grab a big brush. So this is, look at these brushes. Zhu Ting Artist Brush, size 12. Just a massive flat brush. I mean, it's still on my desk from the last stream where I needed to desperately grab a massive brush. And I've still left it out. It doesn't fit in any holders. Let's get a wash wizard involved because that's just a matter of time before I spill them. One thing these wash wizards are missing is I've seen a few holders which hold the lid out of the way. And I actually think that's quite useful, having now used a lot of these paints, that the lids are mega annoying. So it'd be quite handy. So I'm just gonna one thick coat this, just slapping it straight on, starting with this winged guy. I've done the opposite of what you've said. I'm just gonna start with the easy one, just so this guy can be drying, because I'm gonna put it on thick and fast and just see what happens. Trying to start more or less near the top. Not 100% sure I did the primer as well as I should have done. Oh, I was contemplating doing these wings in a different colour, wasn't I? Whoopsie. Maybe I'll do one black. Maybe I'll do one like the artwork. Whoa. This is risky. I'm going to have non-matching Hunting Horrors. But what about if I do one in black to match the artwork, and I do one and just mix it up a little bit? How do you guys feel about that? So we can see one as, you know, like as I would normally paint my miniatures, exactly like the artwork suggests, and another one get some colours on his wing, if nothing else. Maybe we paint the whole thing in a different colour. Guys, what should we do? Maybe somebody can start a poll for voting for one of the colours that we could do something. I think we'd definitely do his wings in a different colour. What do you call those bits of his wings? Like the innards of his wings? You got a Rover 75 and you think the battery's flat on the key fob. Any tips? I think my tip would probably don't have a Rover 75. Apologies to anybody else who's got a Rover 75, but that's probably like a flat battery and the key fob's the least of your problems. Hey Matthew, welcome to the stream. Oh, left. Oh, the guy on the left. The guy on the left, and then I like moved them all over the place. I can't possibly remember which was on the left. You guys need to learn the names as well. I've told you, it's Seaman, Shaggy, and then these two are Hunting Horrors. The wing ones are easy to remember. Hunting Horrors. I've seen that in other Cthulhu games. So, well, I guess these names are probably in all Cthulhu-based games. It's just that I don't play them. I've only got like 2. I'm not sure if I love the lore or anything like that. I'm just not. I don't know. I've never really followed along. Don't know much about it. And then, like I thought Cthulhu's quite interesting. It's like an interesting looking monster. If you're not familiar with that, you know what I mean. It's just like a monster to me. But then as I'm seeing, like all of them got weird names, and all of them look like quite similar. They're all just like black monsters, just dark, barely see them creatures, and it's like I don't know. I just don't find it super interesting. I'm like, is that normal, or is that just this Death May Die that they've painted the art in that particular way? I think the contrast primers, heroes and bosses is like, I don't know. I can't tell any difference. I've used some normal primers and contrasted, and in fact I did it when Benson was painting some stuff, and I primed some of them with contrast and some without, and he painted like for multiple hours 12 miniatures or something, and he didn't once even mention or comment that they were slightly different colours, let alone that they had different finishes. So I just used Army Painter's, I can't remember the exact name, the beige colour primer, and I used that instead of Wraithbone, and yeah, Benson never noticed. So I think that says stuff in it on its own. Like the colours, to me, I could tell that the colours were completely different. Well, I'd primed them and I knew they were different primers, so it was super obvious to me. But yeah, he didn't notice. He didn't notice that the paint was taken any different, and the final product I can't tell any difference either. So I don't know. They're supposed to be more like smooth finish, aren't they? Supposed to be like less gritty, so the paint can slide better and take it the places it's supposed to, and slide off the places it's not supposed to be on. I'm accidentally doing a second coat here, and I really don't want to. So I think that fella's covered in his entirety. Oh, I've made like some sort of spring thing here by mistake. I need to move these onto not a piece of cardboard. You guys can see what I've been eating. Tasty, tasty breadsticks. Could you demonstrate how to change the battery? Should I just stop painting and see if I can change the car battery in the middle of this? I actually do need to change my Fiesta's car battery, so I could maybe do that in a minute if you guys are interested. It's your shelf. You can paint it however you want. Oh, I don't have a painting shelf. That's really bad. Like these guys just go back in the box when I'm finished. It's pretty sad because yeah, I'm building some shelves at the moment in my office, and I am contemplating whether. Oh no, I've just painted his eyes. Whoops. I'm contemplating whether I should have some sort of shelves to display some of like my best pieces at least. So you guys will have to let me know what solutions you have for displaying miniatures. I don't know. They'd just gather dust if I left them on the shelves. I don't tidy up enough. They'd just be all dusty and unplayable. I have to get the Hoover out every time I try and play the game. Yes, I did see the Kickstarter. A couple of people mentioned that to me. I think Alex actually dropped me a link to that when it first came out. I like the idea of the dropper bottle, but because I'm mostly using contrast paints, I don't know how much you get from a dropper bottle for contrast paints, because I just have to squirt out loads, because I'm not going to want to get a couple of drips at a time. So I'm not 100% sure, and especially because I've got these wash wizards, like that to me just solves the problem of spilling them. The only thing it doesn't solve is them drying up. But then again, like I just said, I'm mainly using contrast of Citadels. If I'm not using contrast, I just use my Army Painter paints. They're in a dropper bottle. They don't dry up, and they work well. Like so, I just avoid the problem by not using Citadel's normal paints. But Army Painter don't make contrast paints, so got no choice there. And I don't think these bottles are bad for contrast. They're fine, right? Like you risk spilling it, but I countered that by using a wash wizard. Oh no, I've got to be careful around his teeth. I'm accidentally forgetting what I'm painting what. So I just want to get his body black. I'm going to do his teeth in a different colour. I don't think that little bit there. Can you guys see okay that I've caught the highlighting area of his mouth? Because it's the highlighting area, I'll probably highlight it just to hide it later once I've applied because I'm going to contrast that as well. But then I might go around and highlight. That's what I did with Hasta. It was all contrast to begin with, and then I just highlighted bits to make it look like not completely like it had been contrasted. Painted some of it properly, which I think is the best way of using the contrast. It's like use it as a tool, get a base coat in nice, quick and easy, barely an inconvenience, and then go and add the detail and make the miniature paint job look a little bit better. I'm a bit concerned about, I feel like I'm repainting some of these areas, and it might be because the primer's not taken, because I was priming in the dark, which is not advised, guys. Try to have light when you're priming so you can see. And I was trying to do it super thin and make sure I didn't over prime it because I couldn't see, but I might have missed some bits, so maybe the contrast's really not going to take. But we'll see. Fingers crossed I didn't cock up. What is the thing between the wings called? Dactylotegium. Is that you guys could have just told me anything there? Like I'd just be like, yep, that's got to be true. But look, I can't pronounce it, so I'll never be saying that word. But that's amazing. Is that the actual word? What a word! I thought it'd just be like wing joints, something like that. Something a lot easier. Too many games with too many names to learn. Yes, there are. There's way too many. I was playing Zombicide. I was actually playing a miniature game last night. So it's the first miniature game I think we've played since like 2017. We've got a lot of miniature games, just not got a lot of time to play them anymore. And Zombicide is the game I've played most. It's probably like one of my favourite miniature games. Played it hundreds of times. And even that, given that amount of time that I've not played it, I'd forgotten what any of the things were called or any of the people did, how you even play the game. And that was a game I didn't ever need to look at the rules, and I just know it off by heart. But yeah, I couldn't even remember like what runners were called runners, and obviously I remember because I've played for 3 hours last night, so you have to relearn it. But yeah, you're right, there's a lot of games and a lot of random stuff to learn, random names, and these names are ridiculous. Like, what is his real name? Shoggoth? Maybe. Like, I can't remember. And that's a weird name. And Sea Dog's just like Cthonian. Maybe it's that. So yeah, these names are exceptionally difficult. I think they're coloured to mix a certain way. There's much difference in the chemicals. Oh, I see. Yeah. Has anyone seen the new Kickstarter from Hero Forward? Pre-painted 3D miniatures. I've seen Austin's back that, I think. I'm pretty sure it was Austin. So Austin's definitely seen it. That sounds good. How's it pre-painted? Is it just, are they using like 3D filament? And I don't know much about 3D printing, but does it just print the bits in colour so you don't need to paint them? Or is it printing it and then something's automatically painting them after the fact? It certainly sounds good. If that's the way the world's going, we're going to be in a very different place. Like, people who, you're going to end up, some people obviously paint miniatures as a hobby. Like, the hobby is painting miniatures. I paint more miniatures than I play with the miniatures. But then other people paint just to not have grey plastic on the table. And that's how I started. I just wanted my games to look better. So getting miniatures pre-painted for you at like, hopefully, eventually, when the technology is good enough and the quality is good enough for minimal cost as well, it's going to make a big difference to board gaming, I think. I'm going to have to get a smaller brush to finish that one off. Let's have a sip of this tea. Read some chat while I slowly drink it. your only solution to dust is cleaning. Oh, I don't like the sound of that. That sounds like a lot of effort. When will I have time to paint if I have to clean? Oh, nice. That is some dedication. Jobbioji. That's. You should see how small the screen is in front of me. Plus, my eyesight's not very good anyway. So apologies when I butcher all over your usernames. But that's some dedication. I don't look up stuff, and I'm telling you stuff every week. I make a video when I never look at anything up. I'm an amateur. Oh, right. Your Zombicide's your favourite as well. Nice. See, I can't pronounce that name as well. You guys have got usernames that are hard to pronounce. Houston Jung. I'm used to seeing them written down. I'm not used to having to say them. So it's using coloured filaments. It's like a mosaic. Probably do it yourself. A lot cheaper. So if it's using coloured filaments, I assume it's just you getting like a coloured miniature. It's not particularly shaded, I guess, right? There's no shading and highlighting. It's just going to be base coloured. Is that correct? I've not looked into it. Oh, what am I doing to this guy? I nearly just painted him black. I think I'm just going to change the wings. I think I'll paint him black, and we'll... Oh, what was that word? We'll do his wing joints in a different colour. That is my plan. So I need to be a bit more careful with this brush, because this is really hard to control. Actually, it's so big, but got places to be. I haven't actually got anywhere to be, but I like to paint fast. So that is what it is. Oh yeah, I should warn you guys, I am a single parent at tonight, and anybody else with kids will know that is a ticking time bomb. Sophie may interrupt the stream at any minute. Hopefully not. She's pretty good at sleeping through these days, but yeah, if I suddenly disappear, massive apologies. I mean, I probably won't just disappear. I'll just let her come and sit on my knee for a bit and distract everybody with her inane crazy speak is what I meant. She'll tell you some funny stories about trampolines or something. But yeah, apologies if that happens. Hopefully it won't, and hopefully Whippy Wife will be home soon to cover me just in case. But you know, if I wait for the days where Sophie's not going to wake up at night, you'll be waiting until you'll be waiting another 10 years before I can paint anything, I think. So it is what it is. Austin's got message retracted. He's hiding information from us. He knows something we don't know. Keeping it secret, keeping it safe. There's so much. I'm gonna run out of this Black Templar at this rate. There's just so many black creatures in Death May Die. It's just rinsing me out of this contrast. Batwing Anatomy. Oh, is that how you did it? See, I wouldn't have known what to look for. I would have been, what do you call the wing gaps on flying creatures, please? It's what I'd have literally typed into Google. There we go. He's got that under there. This guy is really difficult to reach his undercarriage. That's pretty tricky. And extra tricky because obviously it's primed in this grey cere, which is quite light. So, you know, if you weren't contrasting, you could prime this in black, and you're probably going to have got his undercarriage quite dark, and it won't matter. You won't need to reach to it because it would be all shaded anyway. But yeah, because I've primed it in this way, it's actually a bit of a bother if I can't get some contrast in his belly. But you can see how uncareful you can be. Oh, this is when I started bending it before, wasn't it? I should really put this on a holder instead of this card. It's just I just brought it up, still stuck to the card, and I'm dealing with it. It's fine-ish. It's nowhere near as good as a holder, but I can't touch it very easily now because it's all wet. Let's just try and get a bit more. Oh, I've changed how I'm priming miniatures. I'll cover that in a minute, just because it's quite cool. But a lot of you probably already know it. It's nothing game changing, world changing, or anything like that. But I've stopped using blue tack. I've just bought some double-sided sellotape, I stick it to the card and then I just stick the miniature on, and it's way, way better than blue tack. And it's a little bit more wasteful because the blue tack I do reuse, and obviously this double-sided sellotape can't be reused. But realistically, the blue tack often got caught with the spray, so it was semi-ruined a lot of the time anyway. So I'm quite liking this double-sided sellotape. It's way stronger because the bases, these have got those like lit bases. See, oh, you can see here with the blue tack, like you have to use so much of it and it holds it up off of it. And then because it's lit, the bigger miniatures require like way bigger blobs of blue tack, and then you have to find loads of blue tack and store blue tack somewhere, blah, 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 blah. Or poster putty, I think you guys call it. But it's quite tedious. So the last 2 times I've primed, I've just switched to using double-sided sellotape, and I'm never going back. It's a game changer, guys. Like, it's a simple thing, but I've just got 1 roll of double-sided sellotape now, and it's quicker, it's easier, it holds it stronger. I don't have to find different amounts of blue tack to get the grip that I want, depending on how big the miniature is and how much of a lip you've got to cover and that sort of stuff. So there you go. Pro tip for the video. It's well worth going to watch the 4-hour stream or whatever it's going to take me to paint all of these just for that one gem of information. Insects are designed completely differently. Wow, it's going deep. So much information. That's going to be the problem with live streaming. You guys are going to actually be able to teach me things, and my brain's going to overload, and I'm going to explode live on YouTube. Too much information out there if you're prepared to learn, which I am. I'm just not prepared to Google. And so if you guys are doing it for me, luckily I can't pronounce lots of words though, so that's always going to be a problem. Right, this is probably not the brush to be painting these fingers, spines, whatever bits these are. Probably need to downsize, but yes, these are looking great. Like, but I'm always expecting contrast just to be so meh off the bat, but it's always just like, yeah, that's good. As soon as it starts drying, I'm just like, yeah, it's gonna be fine. And it took like a couple of minutes to paint 3 miniatures, so that's good. I like that. What's Jedi Fallen? I'm playing Jedi Fallen Order right now, watching, but I'll comment as needed. Nice one, Austin. What sort of game is that? And is that on a console, I assume? Exoskeleton. Oh, the words, man, the words. These are genius. Squishes the muscle bone. You don't want to play that game right now. You want to watch the stream. Yeah, Austin. Austin, you should be painting right now, man. What's going on? Why are you lazing about? This is a painting stream, not a gaming stream. I don't want to rinse this brush because it's going to make my water all black. Oh, nice. Flanges. Are they actually flanges? Are they flanges? Is that the word? Wow, I can say that word. Look, it looks funny, but I know that one. I know, yeah, thanks, Mike. I do think it looks all right already, and it's been a couple of minutes. I spent more time talking than painting, I think. So, what am I doing with Sea Dog? Let's just bring up that art again. Where is it? Over here. Oh, he just ain't. He's not black, so that's just gonna have to be a different colour. Somebody let me know what colour you think the majority of him is. It's like, is that like a grey brown? I'm not sure I have a grey brown contrast, so I think he might have to be either grey, probably grey. Should I go with grey? Should we make him grey? That's probably the best one, like basilicum grey, basilica grey. Definitely something like that. Actually, not even sure what his tentacles are. Some sort of maybe flesh colour. I can maybe find one of the fleshies. See what I can do. This Shaggy guy's a pain to paint. He's no Haster. Like these tentacles aren't that bad, but they're not good either. I'm also pretty sure I painted them all, so I'm a bit skeptical of my primer here. I think I maybe missed more than I realised. Maybe not. We'll see. I mean, that just kept happening with Hasta as well. As I moved round and round the miniature, I kept finding more tentacles. They just kept growing as I was painting it. If you guys watched the stream, it was just like, oh, another tentacle's appeared. So that was pretty bad. It's quite hard to finish a miniature that just keeps growing as you're moving along. They look fine. Right, I'm going to rinse my brush, and now my water's black. In one rinse, game over. Brown with a lot of red and grey. How am I going to achieve that with contrast though? Oh, I've just been painting this whole time and I forgot that I left the artwork in the way. Sorry about that. You didn't miss anything, I was just painting more tentacles. That's all I was doing. Borderlands 3, nice. I love me some Borderlands 3. Austin, you're home alone, you have no interruptions. Come on, crack that whip, get some painting done. You're also doing commissions at the moment. Somebody's paying for your time and you're slacking off playing computer games. Shh. Slap my head, shake my head, shake my head. SMH, that's the one. I nailed it first try. Let me grab the link to this. And I should probably tweet this or something, right? I feel like I don't share the fact that I'm streaming very much. Whoopsie. Share that, close that. Right. Did we decide on a colour? And if you guys have talked over the colour suggestions. No, brown with a lot of red and grey, yeah. Brown, brown, brown. What colour for the wings? I was thinking like, some light colour. I was thinking like just purple. Maybe pink. I don't think I've got the pink. I need to get hold of myself a pink. Red flesh tones, yeah. Oh, fire slayer flesh? Do you know that for a fact? Would that be the right colour? Because I've actually got that. I've never used it. I don't know what it comes out like. But maybe for the tentacles, Fire Slayer Flesh. We can go with that if anybody... So somebody let me know if that is not the colour I want to go for, because I'm not 100% sure. I think I'm going to do them grey, and then we'll go from there. Hang on, I should get a smaller brush and finish off these little guys so they can be drying. Excuse me. Oh, that's why I just remembered I'd not been streaming since the last time because I've got a cough, and I thought that's going to be real annoying for people. How am I going to hold this to paint the flanges? Also don't know if they're flanges, but I'm now going to start calling them flanges because that word is cool. Right, let's get a bit in there, then carefully paint here. Yeah, so these, I wish I could say that word. The skin between his flanges, I'm thinking purple at the moment, but I think I've only got a dark purple, and Heroes and Bosses has just made me realise that a light colour's probably cooler. I definitely don't want to go for something boring like Skeleton Horde. I don't want like a light beigey brown. I definitely need to move this onto a holder because this card is not cutting it. Guys, when I pick this up and it's dry, can somebody scream that I move it onto a holder instead of trying to paint it on this wobbly piece of card? Because now I'm painting thin flanges as carefully as I can while it's wobbling in my hand. There we go. Is Phil in the chat? I was painting these specifically so Phil could try and compete with it. Although he's not using contrast yet, so he's got to do this normally. But I mean, I feel like the translation to normal painting's fairly straightforward. Do this in Necromancer Cloak. Wash in a black wash. Highlight in Necromancer Cloak. And then highlight in Necromancer Cloak lightened up a little bit. And then you basically be at this exact level. It's not difficult to do. It's very, very transferable into an Army Painter base tutorial. It's just that this is a lot quicker and I don't have to dry brush for hours. It's so difficult to get a decent grip. Again, if you missed the last stream or missed me ever saying this, like if you want to stop your shaking a little bit, both my arms are nice and rested onto the desk, putting a bit of weight on them, and then I'm leaning my hands together, so even just this finger here, just pushing into my thumb, is really steadying up these three fingers here, and it's giving me a lot more control. I mean, I don't know if in the video it looks like I'm massively missing the line, but if anything, it's because I'm over a foot away from the actual miniature and trying to paint something quite small. It's nothing to do with, like, my grip's fairly steady there for what it is. Again, just here, this arm's fully rested on the desk, and then I'm always finding one of my extra fingers just to press together to really steady up my grip. If you guys don't know about doing that, that is a really, really solid way of getting a really good grip. It doesn't mean you won't miss, because I just painted the wrong bit for no reason. It was nothing to do with wobbling though. This was too thick for that. Let's just, I don't even think you guys can see in here very well, but I've just accidentally got contrast on his wing skin, and I'm just going to flood the area a bit just to dilute the contrast off of this bit, which I'm going to paint in a light colour later on. Don't know if it's perfectly coloured match. It's fine if it's roughly that colour. Let's give it a go, because I've never used Fire Slayer skin, so let's take it for a spin and see what it looks like on his tentacles. Oh, don't think I can go directly from the pot. Oh, it's got to go. Webbing. Webbing's a good word as well. That is a better word. Let's call it webbing instead of wing skin. I think webbing's easier. Nice one. Thanks, Mike. Hey, Phil's here. He's still on the brush on primer. You're like, not only not using contrast, even the primer's like super slow mode, gonna take you an hour to do. I like it. Proper relaxing mode. You're in for the long haul. Luckily, these wings are ridiculously difficult to paint, so contrast's not great for reaching just his flanges. In fact, I might do them first, because I'm putting my hands all over the outside ones. So this is a reason just to copy the artwork. Like, if you do want to paint this quicker, this has massively slowed me down. Like, I've spent more time trying to just paint his fingers than I spent on the whole of the other winged horror. So, hunting horror, sorry, whatever. It's a winged horror, basically, right? But yeah, I've spent more time just painting these flanges. And it's not getting any easier. Like, I did the easy bit first, and now I've got to somehow get down the inside ones. Again, I probably should paint these two first, so that's a misplay. I could downsize brush, but I don't think it's the size of my brush, which is really the issue here. Got that one. And a big blob here. Let it do its thing. I mean, this is pretty hard to see anyway, so there's only so much care I probably need to take. Nobody's going to inspect it that much. Probably, right? Anybody come in? Nobody better come round and inspect it. There we go. Something like that. Whew, whew. You've got the whole contrast range? That you sunk some money into the whole contrast range. Like, I can't even justify that. Like, I just buy them as and when I need one. And even then I'm still like, how much are these paints? Like, they are so expensive. And I feel like they're going to be, I've said a few times that I never run out of paints. I'm still using a lot of my original Army Painter paints from when I very, very, very first started painting. So I don't think I'll ever run out of them. Whereas the contrast ones, genuinely, I feel like you could rinse through enough that you have to buy new ones. Like this black's getting thinner. I can tell you that. It's definitely used a quarter already, and I've not had it very long, and I've probably only painted five Death May Die miniatures with it though. I feel like I've made huge progress on Death May Die. It's probably the most I've painted a game within a very short period of time of having it. And then I keep remembering I'm just painting the massive ones. So there's endless hordes to paint under everything. I've got all the investigators to paint as well. I've not even played this game still. I feel like, do you guys, before you paint a game, do you actually play it to make sure you like it? Or do you just go, because I want my game to be painted before I play it, but that's probably like a really bad idea, because then you play it and you spent a year painting it, and then you play it and you're like, yeah, this game's trash. Like, I painted most of Besieged before I ever played it, and then I played it. Well, I'd say most of. I painted enough for everyone to have a painted character, and then some. I think maybe I painted 12 characters or something, and then played it, and we played it like 3 times back to back because we were determined to make that it was good, and it wasn't. So, but that's not, I've still not learnt my lesson. I'm still painting this, having never played it. But I guess I kind of enjoy painting as well. So I do only like pick and choose which miniatures I want to paint. So I paint the coolest looking ones or the quickest looking ones to help other new painters realise that it's quite easy to get into painting. If I pick the easy ones and make sure everybody knows these are good ones to start with, like this one. This is not a difficult one. Everybody's just moved here from Discord. We were all chatting on Discord before, and now you just come to chat here. Nice. What are you building, Mike? I didn't actually know what that was. I assume it was more Games Workshop. Something Warhammer 40k-ish. I'd forgotten, obviously I've only just got into building miniatures and stuff, and it's so time consuming. It's not difficult. I feared that it was just difficult before and I'd do things wrong and stuff like that, but it's not particularly difficult. It's a massive time sink building your miniatures. And if you had to build, if I had to build this, geez, I wouldn't be painting anywhere near as much as I did, because you just had to, I think I probably spent nearly as long building some of the miniatures that I've built as I did painting them. It's phenomenal how much time some of them take. Oh, I missed a bit under his mouth, poor little guy. Fix that now. And a bit there. It's not taken super well to all of that, but it's coming along. Oh, I think I've finally done some of it. Oh, it's never ending. This guy keeps growing flanges. The other guys are on the tentacle missions. This guy's doing flanges. I've still got to go and touch up Shaggy, didn't I? Because that brush was too big to do all of it. We'll come back. So I've got some random bright colours which we could use for this. I've got a Leviathan blue. Could just do that. No real reason other than I think it's probably a bright blue. I've got Talus blue. I've got quite a lot of blues, so we could maybe do his webbing blue. That could work. Or purple, but I've only got that shyish purple. I'd like to do it pink. I feel like pink would be a sweet looking colour, but I think I've got it, which is annoying because I need it and I do want it. But maybe light blue, Talus blue or something. I think my favourite is when Julio was looking for Talus blue for a year, and and I got it as soon as I walked into a shop. Wow. You prime, then you play, then you paint, then you play by the rules you forget. Yeah, we do that all the time. We played Massive Darkness wrong for multiple hours before rechecking the rules and be like, oh, this game is not what we thought it was at all. We played a completely different game. Whoopsie. Besieged is an impossible game to win by the rules. It's not even that it's impossible. I mean, it is impossible. It's not quite impossible. It's really hard, but it's not fun. It's not like, ooh, because most co-op games are really hard, but Besieged is just not fun. There's no part of it which is, it doesn't feel there's any skill based part of it. It feels like every turn is get in the catapult, move the catapult, shoot the catapult, get out of the catapult, let somebody else get in the catapult, shoot the catapult, move the catapult, get out the catapult, somebody else gets in the catapult. We never got any items, we never did any of that. The items are random luck. Moving the catapults luck, shooting the catapults luck, taking items from the buildings you can go in, that it's a deck, so it's random luck as well. You roll dice, which is luck. There's you can only move a couple of squares. minimal choices and minimal skill involved. It just really bothered me. It's just like I don't love luck-based games, and then there's too much. It's not easy enough to mitigate the luck, so it really just put me off Besieged, which is a shame because I love tower defense. I really wanted to like it. Still on the fence, Nathan, with contrast paints. I think I'm well off the fence. Like, they ain't replacing proper painting, and they're not better than proper painting, but it is a tool, and sometimes it's worth it. If time's an issue with you, then I think it's worth it. Maybe it's just the tool you use, but just for base coating, like, let's just have a look at Hasta again. That I did all of this in contrast, and then after the contrast was dry, I've gone back. This isn't contrast. I touched up the details. All the highlighting isn't contrast. I blended the tentacles to the contrast. So I got a really quick job with the contrast. I used it as a tool. I don't think I'd have got a much better job for that style. Like, I would have just painted it grey, washed it, and then highlighted it with a dry brush, and it would have taken me ages, and it wouldn't look any better. So I think it replaces some of my quick painting jobs. I'm not going to win a competition using all contrast, but I'm just using it as a tool. I'm off the fence of whether it's useful. I think it's definitely useful. I'm not going to say this is the only way you should paint. I've got way more normal paints than contrast, and despite the fact you just keep seeing me using them a lot recently, I don't own the whole set. I own a handful of contrast paints. I'm buying them as and when I need them, and if I can avoid it, I am avoiding it because I don't want to spend £4 or £5 on one pot of paint. So yeah, it's just a tool, just adding to my collection. I've got a lot of tools. I talk about that a lot recently. I paint all the time, so yeah, it costs a bit of money, but the amount I paint, it's worth having tools that just make it a little bit easier. Wash Wizard, removing the chance of me spilling the thing. I've not really spilled any. I'm not like you hear people spill every pot they ever buy. That's not a problem. I've splashed a couple, but it's not worth it. I do not want to spill one of those on the carpet, so it's worth a couple of bucks just to make sure that never happens. If I didn't paint all day every day, well, I don't, but if I didn't paint every week, I probably wouldn't splash out on random stuff either. I think these ones were actually my birthday present, weren't they? Yes, but Wash Wizards I would buy, but that is what it is. I bought my hobby holders again. You can use free stuff for that, but it's worth $10 or whatever it was to have a little bit better control. Like, you've just seen I've been painting with this. It's really hard on the cardboard. It's not impossible. I'm doing it. It didn't cost me any money other than the breadsticks. I want some breadsticks. I need some hummus while I eat. I wonder how much you'd appreciate some breadstick munching while I'm streaming. What am I doing? Losing track of everything. Just drinking tea mostly. It's delicious. Let's finish off this shaggy bloke. Oh my god, look at that. A splayed. My bristles everywhere. That's because I'm not using my brush rest because I can't see it, because my desk, you can't see this. Guys, there's stuff everywhere. The only area that's like tidy is within the frame here, so it looks like it's reasonably neat. Everywhere else there's piles of stuff all around the desk. Hey Jen, welcome to the stream. Crunchy, yes. Yeah, breadsticks. But I've not eaten on stream yet. I think I did well, because I eat all the time, guys. Like, it's probably my biggest hobby, my favourite hobby. I just like eating. And not eating like loads. I'm not particularly greedy or anything, but I do just like snacking all the time. So I'm doing well. You guys aren't having to listen. And I like crisps or chips, and I eat them all the time. As anybody who's actually spent time with me on the phone would know that I can't go an hour without eating something. So the fact I got through 4 hours the other night without munching in your ears, you guys are lucky. So there you go. These are the ordeals I have to go through to bring sweet content to the channel. What other things are you guys painting at the moment? I'm just cracking on with Death May Die, just because it's the new hype, right? Everyone who's got it's painting this at the moment. But is there anything bigger hype? Am I missing out? I felt like Crisis Protocol. I got that purely just to paint on the channel, and I feel like it's nowhere near as popular, the videos, as you'd think it would be. Or it's just because everybody else has covered it, so maybe there's just bigger creators out there doing stuff. This guy's like an elephant. These are like trunks, not tentacles. Excuse me. You didn't like the Talisa Blue, Julio? Like, have I used it yet? I might not have even used it. I'm trying to think. It's quite a nice bright blue. I've got it for a specific video, something I've got in mind, which is the only time I buy a contrast paint, because I'm planning on doing something specific with it, which is going to save me a massive load of time. But yeah, I'm not actually sure I've tried it. But I did get it instantly, so there's that. Are contrast paints freely available now? Are they a struggle anymore? Because like getting this Black Templar, nowhere had it in stock. It took months, like actually probably 3 months or something after the release to get some, and I think even then it was limited, and I was lucky. But I don't know if that's the case anymore. I assume it's all settled now and people can get it as and when they want, but I don't know that for a fact. Something like this. No doubt I've missed some somewhere. Oh, I've missed this one here. This Hasta was the same. It's quite difficult to tell which bits are supposed to be what. I think maybe in here should be black as well. It is now. Is Borderlands, you get 2 of you playing Borderlands 3 at least. Is that all multiplayer? Can I play? Can I join your games? I don't think I've got Borderlands 3. I think I've got 2 and 1. But I do like Borderlands. I just I don't like play single player games or anything. The only time I play games are like multiplayer games with other people. But then I also don't like the internet very much, so playing online's tricky. It's like I want to play online, but I just want to play with my friends who won't be mean to me because I'm not very good. You guys will have to carry me. Something like that. I think this guy's roughly done. He's got teeth as well. I'm going to have to work out how I want to paint them. But that's Shaggy sorted. Yeah, white or really light grey. That's why I use the contrasts, Julio. I think the 2 contrasts work really well. I have painted on top of some coloured primers and it was fine. Like, I got results. But yeah, I wouldn't try and paint on top of black or dark grey or probably any of like the big strong colours, red, stuff like that. Paint Ultron from Crisis Protocol. It just put it on a bit thick, right? It just the details completely disappear. Waiting for Reichbusters? I didn't even hear of that. Was that kickstarted or is that coming out in the future? You're editing for your own channel, trying to get an episode out by tonight. Oh, job. That's job. Let's call you Job for short. Is that what's your channel? Is it a painting channel as well? Have I not seen it, or am I just got a poor memory? Because I have got a poor memory. 4-player co-op, nice. Totally join my game. Yes, making friends, forcing myself upon people's Borderland free campaigns. Thanks Julio. Chuck and Deb, oh hi man, you're back. Are you both there? Or is it just one of you? You're starting Legends of Signum. I've not even heard of that game, let alone painted any of it. How are we doing on drying? Oh, I can paint this while we're waiting for these 3 to dry. Oh, this one's not painted. Should I put it on a holder? Because cardboard sucks. So I chuck that. Oh, I need to. And that's chuck that in the bin because it's got paint and sticky tape all over it. I was gonna recycle it. I don't know if you guys think you can recycle painted cardboard with sticky tape on. I'd say it's probably gonna gunge up the recycling machine, so probably avoid wrecking some machinery. So this guy, I think I'm going to use Basilicum Grey. I'll start him off with Grey. Grey's pretty good in that we can always paint over it if we dislike how it looks. Shake the paints. I didn't have half an hour to shake the paints before, but hopefully it won't take too long to shake this one up. Right, Busters is from Mythic Games. Oh, is it? Oh, nice. Oh, really? Wolfenstein meets Zombicide? Is it co-op? Because I like Zombicide and I like Wolfenstein, so this sounds pretty good already. And what are you waiting for it for? Is it not out yet, or are they kickstarting it or something? Am I back? Ugh. Hey Chuck, 3-day weekend, congratulations. Did I disappear for ages then? Because like, Whippy wife got home, offered me a cup of tea, and then I feel like the channel died. So hopefully it's all back now. I had to run downstairs and ask her to turn her internet off, turn her Wi-Fi off, and then suddenly it all started working again. Nice. So hopefully we can carry on. Hoping somebody says it's all back now and it's hunky-dory. Otherwise, I'm just talking to myself now. Like most of the time. Wow, wow, wow. This is quite a light grey, actually. Oh, well. Oh, you can always do multiple coats of contrast as well, and it does actually build up. All good. Oh, hey, Sean. Oh, cool. All right, I'm back. I'm back. Does anybody else have that, like, when somebody because Whippy wife's been out all day, so I imagine she's been taking pictures and videos of various things. So as soon as she's got home and connected to the Wi-Fi, it'll be backing the pictures up to the cloud somewhere. That seems like a sensible thing to do. So when your laptop gets stolen, you don't lose all your stuff. Wow, wow, wow. But yeah. So she got home, and I suspect, and I didn't check because I just ran up and down the stairs as fast as I could to fix the situation. But I suspect it was just backing up all of the content that she's taken today, and probably just KO'd my connection, because I think YouTube requires quite a strong connection. I think it's weaker on Twitch. That's another thing, guys. Do you all have Twitch accounts, or if I streamed on Twitch, would you guys just not be available there? Because I still don't know which platform I should use. Yes, Chuck, that is right. I am fully committed to just painting tentacles. That's all I want to do now. They're so much fun, and they just keep multiplying. That yeah, I'm just gonna paint every tentacle that I can find. I feel like I think you missed earlier, but I was saying that like the Death May Die game and the Lovecraftian mythology style, like I feel like all the creatures are very similar. It's almost like I don't know anything about it, so I'm discovering this for the first time. I feel like it's a bit boring. Like Cthulhu's got tentacles, Starspawn, tentacles, Haster, tentacles, Shaggy, tentacles, this guy, Seaman, tentacles. Like, okay, everything is tentacles. Like, and they're all like. I was also moaning about they're all quite just painted in black or green or something. So they all also look quite similar. Not only are they just tentacles, which makes them look similar, they're all similar in colour. So yeah, it doesn't seem very varied. It like feels a bit unimaginative. Who did the artwork for Lovecraft stuff? Because the book's right, it's based on the world that dude created. Can't even remember his name, but I'd recognise it if I saw it. But he didn't. Did he ever draw or paint, or like did he ever? I guess he described them though in the books, right? So that this this information's from somewhere. But yeah, I just think it's all a bit samey. All a bit. Just makes me think of manga as well. It's a bit tentacly. Manga? I mean manga. I mean the other word. I don't know. My vocabulary's ace. You guys are so lucky to get to listen to me. It's like, I don't even know why you listen. It's like, I know nothing. I don't know words. This is impossible. These are as bad as Hasta, if not worse. Like, I can't get this brush anywhere near the underside of any of this. So this is going to be really painful to get it, because I've got to get behind these tentacles and against his chest there. That's not going to happen. Oh, bless Whippy wife. She'll be wanting to watch the stream, or she'll at least want to watch the internet or use the internet and like, get off the internet. Your time here is done. Don't you come home and try and use the internet when you've been away from it, and I've been here taking care of it. The cheek, guys. And it's quite upsetting as well, because we've got okay internet now, and we finally moved, and we finally don't have. That's why I can stream now, because we don't have the worst internet in the history of internets. And then so we're quite happy with this one, and evidently it's not that good though, because it falls over if 2 people are using it. I guess it's pretty intensive. I am trying to stream this at a pretty high quality level, so it's no surprise that it exploded. Especially guessing why it did as well. Uploading 2 sets of videos is probably not great for it. Mango, yes, mango. That's did I say mango? Probably. Oh, Jen, you missed me slap my head earlier as well. I thought of you as I misused SMH, whatever it is. That's good. HP Lovecraft. Oh. So like that Lovecraftian stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. Right, yeah. Okay. That's why it's Lovecraftian, because the dude's HP Lovecraft. Gotcha. Thanks, Phil. I did know that. I just forgot. I'm allowed to forget things, right? I need to check the artwork for this again. Wow, that artwork does not match this miniature. I'm going to have to make some executive decisions as I get to these claws. I think I'll probably just paint them grey. This grey, again, you know, I said it earlier as well, like, the contrast just like that looks fine straight away. Like a few minutes into painting the miniature, I'm like, yeah, that'll do. I'm going to be happy with this. Good enough. Oh, this is so hard to paint though. I wonder if these, nope, bend out of the way at all. They do not. This is going to be a real struggle, guys. Oh, excellent. Thanks, Chuck. Yeah, I am. Oh, cancel. Oh, let me mute her. Alexa getting a bit overzealous there to whatever I just said. But yeah, I'm glad the quality's okay, because I faff with the bit rate a bit, and I've tried to, basically our internet's not going to work while I'm streaming, because I've tried to up it to like the most quality you can. Oh, that's another reason I'm aiming for trying to get hold of a really powerful Mac with the GoFundMe. Is I can't film in 4K at the moment, or I couldn't when I had my Mac before, because the cheaper Mac couldn't cope. So another thing I would like to potentially do is film in 4K. Not necessarily because you need the higher quality, but it means I should be able to like digitally zoom. I could quarter this and it would still be HD. And I think that would help being able to zoom into bits when I'm talking about specific things. I won't do it all the time, but I think it's a useful thing. I film the spins at the end in 4K and digitally zoom in there, so I can be further away but zoom in. Pro tip, guys, if you film in 4K but only care about HD, then yeah, you can just quarter it. It gives you some digital zoom, which is still a really strong resolution. So this grey guy's nearly done, except, you know, most of him still to go, and it's all the hard bits, but I'm going to have to downsize brush and just mute the mic while I choke a bit. Sorry about that. Back. Smaller brush. Where did I put it? Over there. I put it on the actual brush stand. That's Smart. Big brain. Pro play. Look at... Oh, how am I going to get in here? I'm just going to try and splat on huge amounts of contrast and then try and maneuver it about his chest. Like, that is really hard. I've just got some on the bit I didn't want it on. Yeah, that's going to be annoying as well, because I am going to be painting these... Oh, that came off really easy, thankfully. But yeah, I'm going to be painting these tentacles quite light, aren't I? That's the idea, so I don't want to get black on... Oh, at least on the bits you can see, I just got it on the inside of there, and that's just... It's not going to matter very much. But yeah, I don't want to get it on the outside of the tentacles if I can help it. That's going to make these look messy. And at least I am painting this one grey, so the grey sear shining through in little bits. Obviously you don't want a big chunk of the primer left showing, but little bits here and there is just going to look like a random bit highlighted, I think, and I can live with that. There's not a lot else I can do. In fact, let me just do this a bit quick. I'm getting sidetracked, forgetting that I'm on stream, and I do try and do it relatively quickly. Same as the Hasta model. You know, you get the gist. It doesn't matter that I've got it perfectly or not. That's another thing I'm thinking about with Twitch. So on the YouTube streaming, I'm thinking like I'm going to try and aim for it to be like a reasonable video where like I painted Hasta until it was done, even though I was dying of tiredness, and also like just talking for 4 hours is tricksy. Fair play to streamers. It's a different world of difficulties holding a conversation for 4 hours. So that's quite interesting, because obviously I'm used to YouTube, and that's difficult in a different way, mainly editing, which is horrendously hard and time consuming. And at least when you're streaming, there's no editing. It is what it is. You just have to remember not to swear, or I guess it doesn't matter, but I try not to swear too much while I'm streaming. Can't remember what I was saying there. Oh, yeah, so I feel like on YouTube I'm going to try and aim for like semi-concise videos, or at least a video where I get to a conclusion, finish what I've set out to do. So I am going to try and aim to finish all 4 of these today. And I managed to do Hasta. I think I just did one of his minions in the video at the time and finished the rest off camera. I did do some tidying up though, which is why I was showing him at the start of this video, so you guys could see the slight differences I made to him off camera. Whereas Twitch, I think if I use Twitch, I might just use that just to hang out. Like I might just do random things. Like here I'm trying to finish this miniature, but on Twitch I might just play some games like mid-stream and stuff. So you'd have to let me know how you feel about that, because you guys are actually here live watching. And how would you feel about doing random things, or would you just like the video to be about painting and just crack on with that? Because it's going to be on YouTube afterwards, when I am on YouTube, that'll be the exact reason. Like I'm not going to get distracted other than when we've got to wait for things to dry, because I can't do much about that. But on Twitch I might just aim to, like, I'm not really trying to do anything other than just hang out with you guys and get on. You find streaming stressful, Jen? I don't find it stressful, other than getting prepared beforehand, but I need things beforehand. You stream gaming, right? So I feel like you just need to set up your stream and then game. Whereas painting, I was like running around, I was trying to prime stuff, I was trying to get a drink, multiple drinks lined up so I didn't die of thirst, because it's a long way to the kitchen to get a drink. Trying to make sure Soph was fast asleep. Then, well, I guess you've got that problem as well. Then I was trying to find all the tools to paint, get all set up so I don't have to keep disappearing. I feel like when you're gaming, you're pretty much set up right if you're at your machine. Like I was trying to get all the artwork as well lined up, set up so I can flick between it so we can see. So I found that stressful, but now I'm actually streaming. It's pretty chill. I guess gaming's different in that you're trying to chat while playing a game as well, right? That's got to be hard. Like, I stress playing games. I don't need to be trying to talk to people while I'm playing them. It's like infinite loss. Yes, yeah. No staff. That's the problem. You need staff to bring you tea. Although all I've noticed is a comment about bringing me a cup of tea, and I still don't have any tea. Right, I'm getting towards Tentacly Boy being good enough. Might have to add some more off stream. Oh, the black's flooded a little bit down onto this tentacly area, so I'll just try and clean that up. So once again, guys, if you're not familiar with this, if you get paint where you don't want it, just get loads of water on your brush and just flood it. So I'm just really thinning this contrast down here, and then I'm going to start slurping that off and wiping it on this kitchen paper that's next to me. And that's not, because it's black, it's not going to matter too much. It's gone in the recesses, so it's just going to have some really dark shading there. But other than that, that's fine. So that's, oh, I've missed a bit up here. Quite a big bit, as it turned out. How did I miss all of that? Something like that. Let's get under here as well. Okay, so grey's done. Grey is done. Oh, so it's not black, is it? I just like, it's black. I just feel like all of these guys are just black. I gave the staff the weekend off. Oh, I need a cup of tea. It's alright, I've got a glass of water. I'll have a quick swig. My mic seems so sensitive. Is the sound level okay? Because I just leaned as far back as I can to drink that water, and I felt like you guys could still hear it. I was like 5 foot away from the microphone, and I still saw the audio levels peaking. Grey down. Let's put that to one side for a little bit. Pop that. Where's this'll do in here? So let's paint. Let's leave him to dry. I'm going to need some more 360 holders. These are prototypes, by the way. The black one's a prototype. I only own one 360. It's because I don't use it that often. And I always say it's just a really useful tool to have. And and then I'm painting all Cthulhu ones, and it's the best one, I think, for these. Bonus ASMR, glugging water. Amazon delivering hot tea. That would be good. I'm gonna be on the whiskey if I don't get tea soon. I need the hobby holder's actually got it's got a grip. Let me just see if I can find it, 'cause I'm just running out of holders. I guess I could move them around, but I feel like it's risky. Yeah. The problem with the hobby holder is I use them all the time, which just means they're in random places around the house. It's like depending where I was painting. I use the big grips a lot for Sophie, so she's got a lot more holder to hold. I think I want to paint. I think I want to paint this thing's wings in a bright colour. Oh, I've just found Fire Slayer flesh, which we'll use in a minute. So that's Thalassa blue. That's really bright. Maybe I should just do it purple. So I've got purple. This is purple, and the purple comes out. Did I paint something with purple the other day, or did I just talk about it? Yeah, I did. So the purple comes out like Cthulhu, the big man himself. And guys, sorry, I'm just talking to myself. I'm going to go for the webbing. I'm just trying to work out what colour. So I liked Hero and Boss's suggestion, like a bright colour, but it might just stand out too much. It might be a bit ridiculous. So I was thinking maybe the purple. Just give him some purple wings, but that's what I'm saying. I could also go Thalassa blue. It's going to be quite a bright blue. I think it's quite light. Then I've got all sorts. I've got Pteridon turquoise. Don't know what that looks like. I could bring that out for a splash. Got Dark Angels green. That's a really dark green. So that's a contender as well. A really, really dark green. Got army greens. I've got Ackland green, which is a blue, I think. So I'll just leave those there. What are we thinking? So that's just for his wings. I want to paint his wings some sort of colour. I'm just unsure. Oh, this guy, I've missed a few bits on. I'm going to have to tidy him up. Oh, let me paint Shaggy while we think which colour to paint his webbing. So we can paint that some colour. And for Shaggy, I'm going to paint him his mouth using... Let's get the artwork and just double check. Oh, it's like a dark... What colour is that? Also, he's got a foot coming out of his mouth in the artwork. He doesn't in real life. There is no foot that I can see, so that's a non-issue. So I'm being blind. So I don't have to worry about that. Talisa Blue. That cough's annoying. Talisa Blue with Null Oil. I could get behind that. Darken it down if it's too bright. And I think for his mouth, I was going to use Skeleton Horde, but I think his mouth's like... Let me just check that again. I think that's like a dark brown. Dark browny red. Oh, what about... I've got like a fur brown somewhere, which I've never used. Or Darko Flesh, maybe? Gorgrunter Fur. Let's use Gorgrunter Fur. I think that's like a reddy brown. It might be a bit bright, so we might need to null oil this up as well, but I think that's interesting. I think it's a darker colour. And we're thinking, does anybody object to Talisa Blue for the webbing on the second guy's wings? Do you think it would be too bright? I'm concerned it's too bright, but we can always darken it down, and it just adds a different colour to this limited palette that I feel that is Death May Die. So I'm down to give it a go, and we have got the reference one, so we're going to see like copying the artwork, and I think that looks fine. I've missed a bit, which is annoying me. How did I miss that? Why do you guys not tell me? Are you paying attention or what? I missed a bit on his hand as well there, and his horn. I missed a few bits. It might not have been missed. It might be that my poor prime job meant it didn't stick properly. So maybe can't blame the contrast for that. User error. Shaking paint sucks. Is that ASMR for you? It's like, that's a lot of noise they create doing that. It takes ages. I need a little... Now I need some help. I need the staff to come and take the paints out of the room and shake for me. What's the Massive Hysteria comic book? And by Julio, by don't deliver, do you mean you've bought it and they haven't delivered it? Because that's awful. But you have a lot of delivery issues. So it doesn't surprise me that they've struggled with something else. How are we doing? I feel like, and I've mentioned this a few times, these paints are just as difficult as Army Paint at Once to shake up. They're multiple minutes easily, and you can hear it sloshing around. So it's not that it's not got the room to mix. It's just it just settles that hard, that strongly. It's an actual chore to shake these. Oh, come on. Right, Cthulhu, get back out of my way. I need some space. I just noticed one of these cultists, only one of them as well. I missed the necklace. That's annoying. It's going to bother me. She's got a yellow necklace, or whatever you'd call it. I need to fix that. Has anybody who's got this game painted more of Cthulhu Death May Die than I have? Because if you have, fair play to you. Like, I feel like I'm painting this ridiculously fast. Right, these have got to be done. It's got to be done. Or Gorgrunter Fur. I think we'll use that first. Get this guy's mouth filled in. What time is it? Oh, it's only 10:30. It's only 10:30. Got loads of time left. I haven't. I'm tired. But I'm getting all of these done. No pain, no gain. Right, here we go, guys. Moment of truth. Never use this colour. Yeah, that's the colour I think it looks like in the artwork, though. That looks sweet. Good choice myself. And it's another colour on the old colour palette. So again, I'm gonna go for the one thick coat, just smashing it in there. I'll try not to let it ridiculously pull towards the bottom. I'm gonna have to go back and I'll paint his teeth in properly in a little bit. So I don't mind. Just want to make sure all of his mouth and his gums and teeth and everything is picking up this colour, and I'll sort out what's what later on once this is dry, because this guy finished in terms of contrast. Like, that's what I was saying about, I think it's a good base coat. It's just 2 quick base coats, got roughly the colours I want, didn't take a lot of time, and then we'll work on making this look good. How are you doing, Phil? Are you still watching? And have you primed your miniature yet? Because I've now finished the base coat of Shaggoth, and now it's just a matter of waiting for this to dry. At least you haven't got the huge drying times that contrast has got. Phil's painting it simultaneously, if he's still here. He's painting it properly, as it were, using traditional painting methods, in fact including using a paint-on primer. So he's properly doing it slowly. I think you guys aren't committed to going outside. I heard heroes and bosses moaning that it was like -24. Pfft, it's nothing. I went out in the dark. I could have been abducted. So I think I'm well ahead of Phil in terms of being able to do a proper spray prime nice and quick. And now I've been doing this, but I've also been painting the other 3, so there's a chance it can keep up roughly. And I'd just be painting this in some sort of browny beige. That looks fine. That looks like the artwork. This guy's done. That's it. I'm just going to paint him some eyes on. Now I'll sort out his teeth as well, but I'll paint on his teeth and his eyes. Don't rub it in. How are you doing, Phil? I assume you've primed it now. You must have primed it, and have you base coated any of it yet? Also, painting it properly, I'd probably do the mouth first. Are you painting all 4? You actually painting all 4? You're a madman. Have you even primed all 4 yet? Like, that's got to have taken some time. Yellow and white to make brown. What? Heavy beads to the bottle to help with mixing. Oh yeah. That's a good point. Should I? That's a really good point, Vampira. Should I add the agitators to the contrast? I've just dismissed it because it's an easy paint to shake. It just takes a long time. Look at this pooling out of him. It's like he's dribbling everywhere. But yeah, that's actually a really good idea. Ah! Shaggy just attacked me, and now he's attacking his friends. Calm down. Whew, that's a negative with the holder. It's a bit top heavy when you put a big miniature on. I actually mentioned that in the review, which is why I didn't think it was super suitable for big miniatures. You've got to be a lot more careful plopping it down. It needs a wider base for larger miniatures. Or it could have a stand. Maybe they should make a stand so you can just stick it into that. I mean, it's an unnecessary add-on, but it'd stop it falling on my hand. Base coated the Shaggoth. Oh, okay, that's pretty good, Phil. You're keeping up. Wow, okay. You're actually not that far behind then. If you've base coated it, like, I'd say I've just base coated this as well. So we're probably on a similar position. I'm probably just a bit ahead on the other 3. Although Sea Dog he's nowhere near done. I've still got to work. I'm still waiting for him to dry. So guys, I'm going for Talisa Blue. And it's on, I can't even remember who suggested Talisa Blue, but it's on you. It's on you if this goes crazy. feel like I'm going to be able to tell instantly. I think this is going to need darkening down with normal oil. Wondering if I should do it really thin, so it's like really subtle. Yeah, I think this should be really subtle because the primer there looks fine. Like, I think the primer looks all right. So it doesn't matter if it's too light or contrasting. I think it's just a matter. Look at this palette that I've never cleaned in the existence of owning it. Just looking for my pipette because I am going to thin this Thalassa blue, and we can apply multiple coats if we need. Oh, nice, Julio. Julio, yes. I mean, I was just joking. Obviously, not continually making the mistake and not being able to pronounce people's names correctly. 1, 2, 3 drops of Thalassa blue. Put the rest back. Anybody got any other suggestions for moving paint? I suppose I could use a brush, but I really like the pipette. I think it's good. It's only rinsing it, which is a bit of a chore. Like, I'm just rinsing it in my water at the moment, squirting water, and then I'm going to do it in my clean water to rinse it out. I've probably never mentioned that on any video, but I use like a 2 water pot system now. So I've got like my filthy paint where I give everything a rinse first, so that water's pretty much black. And that's the one with the looking good. That's the one with the paint puck in the bottom, and then I normally give an additional rinse, or if I just need a splash of water to water something down, I've got cleaner water as well. So I've got 2 choices. So if you guys aren't doing that, it's a small improvement, but an improvement nevertheless. Like, my pipettes was filthy after I rinsed it in the dirty water, and now it's decent. So let me just give the technical contrast medium a quick shake. Give that a slosh around. Oh yeah, Phil, you've got the washing to do. Are you going to wash like the whole miniature so it's almost the same? Oh, nice, Nathan. Okay, so it's not just me. Like, I never saw anybody using pipettes for this stuff, but it just seemed like the right thing to do. It's just a bit time consuming because you've got to find it. You've got to own a pipette. I've got 3, and I only know where 1 is, and it's like something you don't use very often. So I feel like I'm just going to misplace it all the time. In fact, I was just going to say I could keep it on my my paint rack from Game Envy, except that's not on my desk. I don't know where that is. Right, I'm gonna use 3 drops. I'm gonna make it 50-50. No, I'm gonna go 4. Oh, that was 5. Whoa. It's okay. I can always do multiple coats. I can't take the paint off afterwards. So I'll just give that a rinse again. I am just going to, I think I'm going to text Whippy Wife and say I'm quite parched. And just bear with me while I do that. Right, so that's that problem sorted. Let's see if that appears for me. We'll never know. We will know, 'cause I'll get a cup of tea in a minute. Oh no, I'm mixing this with my good, inverted commas, ruined brush, but let's not do that. Let me just find a cheap brush. Grab this one. 2 cents from wish.com. I need to try painting with these wish.com brushes properly because they've got an okay tip. It's all synthetic, whatever. It's all fake bristles, no ferret bristles here, but it's still got like a decent tip. Look at that. That's all right for like no money whatsoever. And I know Heroes and Bosses paints with really cheap brushes all the time. He never has expensive brushes, so it is doable. I've used some cheap brushes myself, and you can get. I got 1 miniature out of a cheap brush. Easy peasy. It's sharp enough to do the detail of 1. I don't think I could get through multiple though, so I'll stick to better brushes, but I should at least try them out to see if the Wish ones for next to no money do an alright job. Oh, look how bright this is. You guys will have to give me some feedback think it's fine. Maybe maybe I shouldn't have watered it down as much, because it's definitely not dark enough yet. That's quite bright. Oh, maybe I could do it rainbow. Sophie would absolutely love it if she got up in the morning, came in the office and saw a rainbow demon thing. Bless her. How do you guys cope with anybody else who's got kids with like all these games are like quite they're not for kids, right? That's why they say 14 plus. But I'm not playing them with her. She just sees them and she'll ask about them and she'll be like, "What is that?" And I don't want to be like, "It's a monster, a terrifying monster." So, what do you guys do? Do you just try and avoid showing them, or I don't mind her asking questions, but I don't want to put. She doesn't know about monsters. She's not scared of anything at the moment, and I don't want to give her this idea that there could be monsters because there's these monster miniature games. But then I guess TV's going to do it. But she didn't watch much TV. Oh no, I should have done the inside first. This is the worst. I'm the worst. Do the inside first so you can still hold it by the outside. Pro tip. But yeah, at the moment she just calls things baddies, which I don't know where she's got that from, because we don't say that. So it's just from nursery, which is my point, right? There's always an outside influencer on things, so I can't shield her from things that might scare her. But just interesting. It's like I was playing Zombicide last night. My friends were over and she was around, and it's just like she doesn't know what a zombie is, and I don't want to explain what it is and put these ideas in her head at the moment. Well, it's scary. Oh, Jen, you've got tea. Yeah, but I bet you had to make it yourself. Haha. Whereas I didn't have to make one. I might never get one, but yeah, I didn't have to make it. I'm seconds away from pouring whiskey though. Are you drinking any whiskey at the moment, Phil? It's okay. What do you think? Nobody's commented on the blueness. Oh, well, when you say, Nathan, when you say you were trying to airbrush, does that mean you tried and failed and now you don't airbrush? Because that was the next thing I was considering moving on to, airbrushing stuff. Although I'm not thinking about trying to replace painting with airbrushing. I was considering replacing base coating and priming with airbrushing, just because going outside sucks and I feel like I could use an airbrush inside. Oh, I've done it again. I can't learn from my own mistakes. I've painted the outside first, and now I can't get the brush in without holding the outside of the wings and making my hands all blue. I'm digging the changing colour on this hunting horror. Excuse me. It's because I'm so thirsty. I'm not sure. I think it's too big a jump to this really bright blue, but we'll work on subtilizing it. It's not even that it's not subtle, it's just I don't think it blends, so maybe I just need to darken it down around the flanges and blend it in, so the webbing it just doesn't look realistic, right? It doesn't look like nature, it doesn't look like the colours have blurred slightly. So it might just be a matter of skillfully blending those in. Skillful's my middle name. Yep, definitely. So he's okay. He's alright. He's alright. Great for priming, basing, creating the base. Yes. Oh, right, so you still do it. Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued by using an airbrush. How long did it take you to learn the basics? I'm probably not going to try and fade colours in and out. I'm in no rush to do that. But priming, I'm really interested in using an airbrush for priming, just because I own so many rattle cans and they just take up space, way more than an air compressor and a couple of guns and some spray bottles sort of thing would take. What do you think? What were we thinking, guys? I think it's more interesting than the other one. Oh, hello. I think I need to either blend it or just darken it down. It might just be some black wash, some Nuln Oil, something like that. It's cool. Maybe even... No, I was going to say the black contrast over the top, but that just might be too dark. Not 100% sure. So that one's drying. So we could be working on this one. Maybe I should touch this up, or maybe I should. Let's have a look what he's going to look like. Old Mr. Hunting Horror. Wow, he is dull. So that's just some dark red. He's just got a bit of dark red on him. Well, I guess his webbing was actually quite a lot lighter. Could have just made a light grey play for it. But this guy just looks like he's got some random red on him. So I'm just going to dry brush bits of red on him, I think. It's really not very interesting. Yes, I'm glad we tried to mix it up with the blue one. Yes, my tea has arrived, everybody. Victory is mine. Thank you very much. 1 cup of tea. Cheers, everyone. That is hot. Straight down the throat. Easy as pie with the pressures and distances. Well, it took me four minis. 4 minis? That's not very many. So that's like, you could do that in not very much time at all, couldn't you? That's interesting. I probably fear it a bit more than I should. What am I going to do? I'm going to get the black wash, not the black wash, the black contrast, black Templar, just touch up the bits of this miniature which are missing some paint from, just because I don't want to have to apply this after I start adding some random bits of red. Anybody grab the artwork if anyone's at their computer and wants to have a quick look. It's a hunting horror. Cthulhu, Death May Die, hunting horror will find you the artwork pretty quickly. And then, can anyone see differently to me? But I do just feel like it's just some random red. Like, I can't see any pattern to the blobs of red. Just looks like he's got a light dry brushing of red on him. I mean, it's a deep burgundy red. I think I'm going to use something like Crusted Saw. In fact, let me grab that in case anybody got any better ideas. Oh, I say grab it out of a massive shoebox full of paint. It's no small feat. Like feet. It's going to take me actual time to find. Paint this in here. Okay, got the back of his hand, the arm. How are we doing? Hopefully tidied that up. Can't see any more. Tip of his wing. Oh, there's so many bits I've missed. I do think like contrast paints pull away sometimes because I'm always having to tidy up, even small, easy miniatures. I'm always finding bits of contrast that's just not pulled anywhere, or little specks of primer showing through. So I don't think I missed all of that, but hooray for tea. Yes, Chuck. Are you liking the blue? I think it's good. It's way more interesting than the other one. I don't think it's realistic, though. I like my crazy demon flying monsters to be as realistic as possible. I think it's just too big a jump from one to the other. I think I just need to blend it a little bit, which is fine. We'll do that. But yeah, you're right. The blue's certainly, like, I can barely even see this on the table. You can't miss that, can you? Oh, wait, that's a good point as well. Just at the distance, just the natural shadows are making that look better. I was holding it to my face when I was saying the jump was a bit too strong for me. Guys, if you've not seen this, you can join me in the pain. Although I say pain, some people might store their paints like this anyway, so this might be normal to them. But since moving house, this is how I live. Oh, can't even open it. just my shoebox full of paints, and yeah, this is how. Uh-oh, somebody fell over. Rip in peace. So then I just have to look through and try and find stuff. Like, what's this one? I'll get that out just in case. What is that? It's a dark red, which is what I was talking about. So I'll grab that as soon as I found it. There it is. Crusted saw. So I was thinking of adding some colour to the hunting horror using that. Who fell over? It was Shaggy. It wasn't me. He fell over. Poor little guy. I think he's alright. Still drying fine. Oh yeah, because he's on this wibbly wobbly stand. The little thing. There's many animals in real life with crazy colours, so everything's realistic. It's true. I just felt like the blending wasn't realistic. I felt like it had to blur a little bit into the blue. But maybe not. You could probably easily link me to many animals that don't blur colours. Airbrush priming is great and so easy to learn. It took me less than 10 minutes to get it down. That's not true. Austin, everything takes you forever. Don't act like you learn airbrushing in 10 minutes. If you learn it in 10 minutes, I could learn it in 10 seconds. Come at me, bro. Once you get the pressure and distance, yeah, cool. Blue really makes. I think I'm caught up. A fear of trying something new with airbrush. Yes, I'm definitely concerned with trying it. I don't want to buy a load of stuff. I don't know what to buy. I don't know what's good. And then yeah, I've just got to learn it and find space. I feel like I want it set up somewhere, and I wouldn't know where to set it up. All my other stuff just gets like chucked away, and then I grab what I need per video sort of thing. So I think it'll be tedious to set up my airbrush every time I need to use it. IKEA Fira birch wooden storage chest box with 5 drawers. My paints today. Interesting. I need to go to IKEA. I need to make a note of that. Oh, what? I need to write that down. Send me an email, and I need to check that out. That's interesting. Is it good? Because I've got a paint rack, and that's pretty good. And then I've got. I don't know if I can show this. Let's grab my camera without breaking it. Then I've got this new setup from Game Envy, which has got loads of paints in. But I think that's more for like a paint job. I just put the paints in that I'm using here and then. Whereas, yeah, I will need a store for... What have I done to my camera? I should never have moved it. I need a store for the majority of them. Ooh, wibbly wobbly. We fixed it. So, I think I'm going to go with... I think it's the crusted saw, my first choice. But I might use the dark red to highlight it. Yeah. No, I'm just going to complain about it for ages. You purchased a large section. What's going on? You've both bought storage for your paints today. What is the chance of that? Do you guys know each other? I need something. I need something. I like my rack, but I don't know if a box might be better. It's more portable. My rack's really permanent. In my last setup, the rack was just at the back, so it was in a good position. I'm just shaking army paint. This video is going to be like 3 hours of me shaking paint. The rack was in a good position. Here I've got nowhere to put it. If I put it on the back behind the camera, it's going to fall off the desk at some point. I'm going to have to pick up 80 paints off the floor, and that's going to make me sad. Alright, let's get a palette. Let's get some crusted saw. Oh, I'm dry brushing. I need this. I'm so ill prepared. I thought about that before I started, and this is so wet now because I've been drying my brush. Let me just grab a piece of kitchen paper. Sorry guys, I'll be quick as I can. I'll have a sip of tea before I go though, so I've got some energy. Right, back in 2 secs with some kitchen paper. kitchen's annoyingly a long way away. Look, I got 2 pieces. I really pushed the boat out and I just put it in the paint. I'm the worst. But yeah, 2 pieces this time. Physically linked in paint related storage agony. I think so. What's the chance? It's quite funny. Because I imagine people don't go and sort storage for paint very often, so the chance that both of you did it, and you both went for different solutions as well. It just shows there's no go-to solution, is there? There's not like, this is the best way of storing your paints, end of, and everybody just does that. Right, let me grab. Actually, I was going to use the makeup brush, but I think I might want a harsher brush to just add random bits of red. Did anyone check the artwork? Does anybody have a problem with me just adding random red? I'm just maybe going to dry brush it all. Just get some red on. Probably painting his eyes, but I might make them glow. So I do that a bit carefully. But yeah, let me just double check the artwork. I just can't believe it's just random. I guess it's not completely random, but he has just got bits of red on his tail in places. Has he got some webbing behind his leg? Yeah, that's going to be really hard to get to. I'm just gonna dry brush all of it in dark red. Now I remember I don't have a dry brush, which is why I used the makeup one, wasn't it? Oh, CITADEL. Dry brush online. Let's take this for a spin. So guys, if anybody is new to painting, this is one of the easiest, quickest techniques to learn for achieving quite a nice effect. So you wanna generally have a dry brush to do it. This is CITADEL's small dry brush. And then you get some paint on your bristles, and then you're going to wipe most of that off. I'm going to work it into the bristles a little bit, and then we're just going to scrape that across the paper until it's barely leaving any red. So we're down to like next to nothing. Try it on my nail just to show you can't even really see it. But when I scrape it across the miniature, it's just going to add a light amount of red to this, which is going to be kind of hard to see because this is a black based horror, but hopefully it is going to be difficult to see. We'll see at the end. I can see, hopefully some of you can see as well, it is starting to just add a little bit of a red highlight on the raised parts as I'm scraping this across. Get it on his tail as per the art. But yeah, I'm gonna catch it everywhere. Just gonna get, and it, because it's black, it's gonna be real tint. Just a light hint of this, and it's a dark red as well, so it's barely noticeable. This time I'm gonna leave slightly more red on the brush. That's just because it is so subtle. I don't mind if it goes on a little bit thicker. It's barely noticeable anyway, so a little bit thick is just gonna speed up the job. Just giving it a splash of colour. Let's go up his tentacle mouth, a bit on his face. Yeah, I can't really tell in the artwork how this red goes. It just looks like it's just got a hint of red on him. So, and I like it. I think it makes it look more interesting. So I'm just going to go for a hint of red everywhere, and I'm going to go everywhere except on the webbing. So that's going to make that webbing that little bit different, hopefully. And I think on the other one, because we had light blue webbing, I'm going to do this same effect, but I'm going to use a light blue instead of a red, or a dark blue. Maybe we'll just give him a hint, just like this. This is a dark red. I'm just going for a slight hint of red. I think this is looking decent from what I can tell from here. So he was like this, and hopefully you can just see a slight, it's got like this red hue to him now. Just a little bit red, a little bit more interesting. It might have been better to be more precise with the red, so you can highlight very individual parts, because I've gone for all of it. So maybe you should have just hit the tail, maybe his face and left some of his body in his hands and his claws. Now it's all a bit samey. It's almost made it uninteresting again. But guys, just judge for yourselves and see how mine looks and adjust accordingly. If you love how it looks, copy it. And if you think it's just a bit over the top, just be a bit more subtle with it now. Have less paint on your brush. As you can see, it's going on like instantly for me. I'm on the lightest touch because I've changed. I'm hardly dry brushing now. I'm doing that other sort of brushing. Somebody in the comments will let me know what's that type of brushing where it's light dry brushing, but you've actually got an amount of paint on your brush, like soft brushing or something. Pretty sure Banda or Mike did it really recently in one of their videos. And I do it all the time as well, but I didn't know it had a name. Somebody named it. I was like, ooh, it's got a name for dry brushing with a lot of paint on your brush. So on these flanges here, it's a flat surface for one, so dry brushing is really hard. But I'm still trying, and I think that's giving it some of that blending I was talking about, because it's hitting this nice and harsh with the red, but it's also catching a few of these raised bits on the webbing, so it's going to blend it for me there, which is sweet. I'm getting it for free, which on this one doesn't matter too much, I think, but I think it'd be really beneficial on the blue one that we've just done. Overbrushing, thanks Phil. That's the one I was looking for. Yeah, it's good. I use this technique a lot, but I didn't know the name for it. I just always call it dry brushing, and I just don't comment on like how much paint I'm leaving on the brush. Overbrushing. I try and mention that more. I don't know if everybody knows about that technique. It's like quite a step up from dry brushing, I'd say. But it probably comes quite naturally once you've learnt to dry brush. It's just like sometimes you're like, well, this is taking forever, and I don't mind if it was getting more of the colour on than it is. So overbrushing is probably the next logical step when you've learnt dry brushing, just to naturally do it without knowing the name for it. Well, it's something like that. Whoa, I like that. What do you think, guys? That's made a right difference. This looks so much more organic now. It looks like Aliens, something like that, where it's a bit shiny, the exoskeleton style thing. I need to tidy up some of that contrast because it's still got bits missing. Again, could easily be my piss poor priming. Just cleaning my dry brush a lot. Oh, I nearly got my dry brushing paper towel soaked already. Good job I brought two. But yeah, let's dry on that. Dry your brush on the other one. Keep this as dry as you can, because if you get it wet, your dry brushing and over brushing is going to have a bad time. Let's have a look-see. I might just finish this one off now because there's very little else to do while we're concentrating on it. So I'll probably use some of this dark paint. So I need a good brush now. My Red Grass Games one. My 00. I'm not even sure it's going to be good enough. Like, I'm going to be going for his eyes, and they are teeny. That's going to be tricky. That's going to be real tricky. So now I think I'd get my magnifying glass, but I don't know where it is. So guys, if you're on this step and you've got a magnifying glass, go for that. Trying to think where mine is, and I don't think I'd find it in any reasonable time frame. Plus, you can't see what I'm doing, but I think on a stream you can imagine what I'm doing. I'm holding it really close to my face and putting some paint on his eyeballs. So I'm probably going to just do that. I don't know if this brush is going to be small enough either. Oh, hang on a minute. Hello. I've got all of the new Game Envy brushes. So if you guys didn't see this unboxing, Game Envy, which makes the hobby holder and a bunch of other stuff, the wet washers, the wash wizards, make brushes now. I mean, they don't make them, they sell brushes that they've had done. They're all Klinsky Sable, so they should be sweet, and they're made by a good company. And then they've all got names. The foil's massive. No, it's tiny. The foil's the smallest. saber, 00 EP, and a spear and a lance. So this is what I might want. This is a small brush. This is smaller than the Redgrass Games 00 because this is a 000. So this might be the droid I was looking for. Guys, if you're interested in trying out any of the Game Envy stuff, there will be I was going to say an affiliate link, but it's not. I mean, they know it came from me, but I don't get any money from it. And it saves you 10%. It's in the description below if you guys are interested in any of this stuff. Let's see how this is my first ever time using this brush. It feels decent in my hand. I like it's smooth and silky. It's not got the Army Painter triple triangle grip. I still miss that. I don't often use my Army Painter brushes now because I use these fancier ones, but I do miss that triangle grip of the Army Painter ones. I'm not going to water this down. This is still nice and dry from dry brushing. I didn't add any water to that. And then I'm going to be using this 000. I want as little paint on the brush as I can. And I'm going to be going for these eyeballs. Just one little dot, that's all it is. Wow, these are so small. It's such a shame that's really difficult to do. I don't think I've missed yet, by the way, with the brush. I've only done 1.5, but nevertheless, I don't think I've missed. No, I'm getting it. It's leaving black around the recess of these eyeballs. The really annoying thing is maybe I don't want to. So I'm using crusted sauce. I'm using this dark red to do the eye, and then I was going to go around with a bright red to make it more interesting. Pop those eyes out a bit better, but because they're so small, I don't even know if you can see that. I think I'm casting such a large shadow. I think because they're so small, I'm wasting my time, I'm wasting your time, and I'm risking making a mistake trying to do it twice. So I'm just going to skip. I'm going to go straight to Glistening Blood, which is a glossy red, and it's for blood normally. What I use for blood. I've actually got 2 of these, and this is the new one. I'm just seeing if I can see the other one, so I don't have to shake this one as much because I used the other one last time I was streaming, so it'd be slightly shaken up a bit better. Toothpick eyeball painting works well at times. I think these are smaller than a toothpick, Chuck. And I've also had no success using toothpicks for eyeballs. If they were bigger, I could imagine it could work. It just ain't working on this. If I've got a toothpick around, I'll just have a look. I'll just show you that it's smaller than the point of the toothpick. In fact, I have got a toothpick. One sec. I saw it the other day. Oh yeah. It's like, I don't know if we can see this. So toothpick. Where's an eyeball? I put this right up against, so you can see. I don't know if you can see that, but it's about half, if not a quarter, of the size of the toothpick. Like, I'm moaning this is small because this is small. Like, this is probably the smallest eye I've ever had to paint. Luckily, I ain't going to do anything special. There's going to be no pupil. It's just going to be a dot of red. And now we're upgrading to Glistening Blood because I think that's going to look... It's going to make it pop out. It's going to be a bit shiny like an eyeball would be. And then on top of that, it's going to be different to the crusted to the deep dark red that we've just painted all over with that overbrushing. Again, I'll stop talking while I do it. Oh, that looks so good. I don't even think you guys can see this. Honestly, it looks so good though. Again, I'm resting both of my arms. This one's on the desk. My elbow is on my thigh. So they're both supported, and then I'm pushing my hands together. It's really, really, really steadying my grip, steadying my wobble on my hands. And then I'm also leaning into the miniature itself with the backs of my fingers. This time I'm even talking because that eyeball was slightly bigger, but it wasn't big. And then I'm just going to very, very carefully dot in. This brush is fantastic, by the way, but all brushes are when they first arrive. We'll see how it does. But Mike uses a brush, one specific brush, just for painting on eyeballs. And that Mike, try this out. This is sweet. I'm trying to see if that's an eyeball or not. I don't think it is. Whew. Good job I checked the other side. That one's easy. This is going to be a super quiet part of the stream because every time I speak I'm wobbling. But oh, messed that one up. And fixed. Luckily I caught it on a highlighty raised part, so it just rubbed off super easy. Barely an inconvenience. There we go. Are these showing up yet? I don't think you guys can even see this. It's making a huge difference at point blank range. You're not going to see this on a games table. Cut it at about halfway point, and the diameter is larger. Yeah, I could whittle down the toothpick. Actually, you're right. I could make it sharper, but this brush is way better than the toothpick. Actually, what's infuriating is I don't think you can see this, and I can't see it either when it's not up to my face. So this is one of these bits that's going to take somebody to pick up the miniature off the table and admire your handiwork to realise that you've painted on his eyeballs. And I had a very similar when I painted the 7th Continent, guys. They are tiny miniatures. Anyone got that game? Because I've never seen miniatures as small as that. And I painted Frankenstein, and I painted his eye, and I did a pupil and everything, and you cannot see that, even held close, by the way. Like, if somebody picks up that miniature in person and holds it close to their face, this looks amazing. That is my best dotting of eyes ever. I don't often say things look good, but that looks really good. I might do a second coat. I won't bore you with it because you can't see anything anyway, but I'll probably do a second coat just to try and make them stand out as best I can because they're tiny. But yeah, the Frankenstein, you can't see it. Even in person, you pick that miniature up, you hold it right to your face, you can't see it. You have to take a picture and zoom in, and then you can see it. And it's painted well. I did actually do a decent job. It's not my best eye, but it's not my worst either. I wish I could flash up some of my worst. I like painting bad eyes. I think they tickle me. They're funny. This is it, guys. That's finished. I mean, I'm going to tidy up because there's some primer showing in places, but this is pretty much him done. Ooh, let's see how well my camera can focus. But look at those eyes. This looks horrifying. That's it. I'm going to paint this base black, and I'll probably do that at some point. Hopefully while you're still here, just because it makes it look infinitely better. Thanks, Jen. It looks fine. Like, compared to the artwork, like, I'd say mine looks more interesting. It's not a direct match to the artwork, but it's going to be good. I need to paint the base because Jen doesn't actually paint miniatures, so unlike the rest of us, might not be aware of what a difference the base makes. Like, it's crazy how it can go from looking alright to being like, oh yeah, that's actually really, really good with just painting the base in. And again, I've still not worked out how to paint these bases. Has anybody painted these bases in a really good way yet? I'm not sold on how to do it yet. I've still not found my dead black, by the way. I'm still using this mediocre Wargamer black, or I can bring out the ultra shocking CITADEL one. Let's not bother. So I'll just use this cheap brush for this and just slap on. I'm just going to go paint this black, and again, you probably heard it a million times, but I like black. I think it's really quick, it's really simple, and it brings focus back to the miniature. And then if and when, and it's never happened yet, I often talk about it, but I've never actually gone back and changed it. If I've painted it black, it's always stayed black just because it's good enough. I have to actually do the proper base job at the time, otherwise I just lose interest a few weeks later. But painting it black is very easy just to go and change if you are that way inclined, and you will go back later. And I might go back. I might go back at some point, but I'm just saying it's not happened yet. It's just, if I could think of a really cool way of doing this, I would do it. Like my Arcadia Quest miniatures, I didn't paint them black. They're actually, look, this guy's missing a bit of contrast under here, but I can just touch that up with a black because it's in the shadow anyway. Nobody will see it. Looks fine. So you can also just cheat like that. That saves fixing that later. Yeah, my Arcadia Quest, I actually used Agrelin Earth, so I gave it a textured base for all of them. And that's because I didn't want them to be boring, but there was no way I was painting on those like board game-esque cobblestones. Like I couldn't be bothered doing that. Having said that, I'm infinitely faster and better at painting than I was when I started painting Arcadia Quest, so that would be a game. If I'd painted that black, I would actually go back and change that now. But I don't know if I will with this. We'll see. If anybody ever tells me a quick, good way of doing it, and I've had cobblestones suggested. I looked at the board game, the tiles, and it was like some of it was cobblestones, but not all of it, so it didn't feel like a super win. Not like Zombie Side. I feel like that's worth painting that mostly cobblestone. This is pretty dry now. What am I doing with this? Nothing? Is that just him done? Maybe. Let's check out the artwork. Oh, should I finish this horror as well? Let's do this while I'm on the horrors. Let's do all of the horrors. Just bear with me while I search through my box of paints. We need to pick it. I'm going to do it in blue. The other guy was red. This one's going to be blue. But I need like I want it to be subtle again, so I need like a dark blue. And oh, maybe just like maybe like this deep blue will do it. Yeah, deep blue. Deep blue. Army painter's deep blue. Probably just want a really dark blue. This might not even be that dark. It needs a shake because it's massively separated. But I might want something like night blue, I was thinking, but with my Vallejo one. So night blue might do it, but that just might be too unsubtle because dark blues and blacks looks so similar anyway. I don't know if I can trust it. Oh, this is going to take like 20 minutes to shake. I should have swapped Whippy Wife a tea for just a box of paints to shake. Has anybody ever... This has come to my mind a few times. Just put a box of paints in the washing machine. maybe not the washing machine, but the tumble dryer. Maybe with no heat set. I have considered it. I didn't know if it would even work. But just like mixing up my whole paint collection and not having to do it myself. Watch this. I've just shaken that for nowhere near enough time. Let's see how it comes out. Oh, it came out fine actually. Damn. I thought it was going to come out much worse than that. It's not that good actually. I can see this is darker and that's lighter. I'll mix it together with the dry brush, but it's not perfect. But I just ain't nobody got time to shake that as much as it needs shaking. Not with you guys having to listen to. Right, again, just working that into the bristles. Probably did it too much because. Oh no, it's good to start off with a dry brush actually, just in case it's not subtle. I need to tone it down, but let's see. Let's start here. Not actually caught it yet. There we go. Ooh, I think this is the colour. Now, do I do it as much as oh, it's coming on a bit strong? Just tone it down a bit. Just be a bit lighter with the strokes. I think I'm just going to do it all again. I kind of liked how it made it look like a bit alien-esque. And again, so this is going to be really similar. Try and do this bit quite quick because it's going to be the same as the red, but we just get to see what a blue one looks like. So I have one blue, one red. Guys, how do you feel about me differing from the artwork? Because it's making me a nervous wreck. I don't know if I can cope with not painting it the same. See, this is what I was talking about. That's just making it that little bit subtler. It's darkening up the webbing and bluing up his phalanges. And I think that's the subtlety I was looking for. And it's not a big change. That's still massively bright, and that's not. So I think it's still made it way more interesting. But it's just going to blend it that little bit better, which is what I was saying the whole time, really. tiny messenger to shake paint real fast. I could put it in like a massage chair as well. Maybe that's safer than a tumble dryer. But just saying, I'm darkening down the webbing a bit as well, just where it blends. A bit subtler, I think. Right, let's do the back. Oh, he's got a grubby looking mouth. I suppose you can't see that on the artwork, so I could paint all these little teeth in, because you probably see the back of him just as often as you see the front, depending which side of the table you're on. So it might be a bit of detail that you could really have some fun with. Just paint his back like a clown, like some rainbows and stuff. Might also, there is claws in the artwork. Could also just change them up as well and make them way more interesting, potentially. I mean, you can do what you want. The world is your oyster. It's just I'm always desperate to keep it near the artwork. I was playing Zombicide last night, as I mentioned, and all of it's painted, which is a beautiful reason to play it. And my friend picked his character, and then he's like trying to attach the little plastic coloured base to it. And he's like, how does this work? And what's it for? I was like, so you can tell which is your colour, which is your character, except do you need it? Like, you've got the artwork in front of you, and I've painted it exactly the same as the artwork. And he looked a bit sheepish and dropped the plastic mat, plastic cover thing, whatever it's called, the cap that gives you a colour. But yeah, that's a good reason, I think, for painting it the same as the artwork. Then everyone, like especially new players, can tell exactly what's what, and there's no ambiguity. And that's a great reason not to have plastic, grey plastic. Like, paint your miniatures. It makes the game like more enjoyable. It's more immersive. It's more immersive, isn't it? But it's also just like easier. You can tell what's what. You know, you're never like, what's that guy? Like, you can tell what this is now, right? It's going to match the artwork in the game. This is a bad example because there's only a couple. It's probably not that hard to learn which is which, and they all look the same as well, even painted. And this one doesn't look like the artwork, but that's why I would normally stick to making it look as much like the artwork as I can. How's this blue doing? Oh, something freeing, Chuck, about painting it outside the artwork. I think I'm not imaginative enough either. Like, I just freeze. If I was trying to think how something should look, I'd never get it painted. But like, what on earth would this look like? But I also enjoy fixing things as well. Like, I quite like when I make a mistake or do something that doesn't look how I wanted it to look or as good as I wanted it to look. And I quite enjoy going back and fixing that up. So that there's a lot more mistakes when you're not copying the artwork, right? Like this blue, I'm not completely happy with it yet. I'm probably going to spend some time making that to a level that I like. Question, guys, whoever chooses first, eyes, should this one's eyes be blue or red the same? Because red will stand out nicely. It'll stand out nicer on this one than the other one because it's not got any red on it. But I could also do it bright blue instead. So somebody pick red or blue, and I will make that happen. And maybe you'll be able to see it on this one. Probably not. It'll probably be still too small. I need to put my tiny, teeny, amazing brush out of the way before it's not amazing anymore. That was really good, by the way. I'm not just saying it. That's a good brush. Right, so that's nearly these two done. What time is it? Oh, 20 past 11. But let me paint the base while we decide what colour to do those eyes. Oh, it's not watered down enough. But we're well over 50% of the way through now because we've done 2 of the 4 full stop. Next is only really working out what we're doing. Oh no, there's the Seaman. we hardly did anything with that. I just added some grey, and then I just left him because I didn't like him. We'll go and add some more colours to him in a minute because he's got more contrast to go, so that's going to take some time to dry. So we'll do a little bit of contrast on him, and while that's drying, we'll work on Shaggy. So that's that base done for a minute. Oh, who got there first? John's gone for red. Julio, you were just too slow, man. You typed blue, and it was too late. John beat you. I said whoever says it first gets to pick the colour. Let's go for red. Oh, except it's wet at the moment. I'll come back to that in 2 secs, and don't let me forget that we said red. Leave that for a second. So this guy, and I can't even remember who said who's getting the blame. Somebody said Fire Slayer Flesh for the tentacle colours. Let's I don't know what Fire Slayer Flesh looks like. It's a ballsy move. Do you think it's going to look like this? Maybe. I'm willing to find out. So basically they're all that except the mouth tentacles. Oh, they fade to white though. Ugh. Fade to white's going to be tiring. But I think we'll go for... I think I'll dry brush. I think I'll just paint it all Fire Slayer. Then I'll just try and dry brush fade the white down. It might not work, but we can certainly give it a go, guys. If anybody's got any tips on doing that before I get there, fire away. Oof, this stream's at 2 hours and 15. Did any of you guys who are here at the moment watch the previous stream back? Like, did anybody watch it after the fact, or did you either watch it at the time, and you've not watched it? I just wonder how like 4-hour streams sit with people. I feel like it's because it gained like, I think it still had like 900 more views afterwards, so people clicked on it at least. I just feel like 4 hours is ages. I don't often watch streams back. I like more concise information. But I also accept that I'm not the only person in the world, and how I do stuff isn't necessarily the best way of doing stuff. Like I never play music. If you guys watched Banda on the channel on Friday, I thought it was quite interesting to put music on it, and I found it really relaxing, really chilled. I really enjoyed it, whereas I never put music in my videos. I can't be bothered with extra editing and finding video, you know, that, oh, this has never been opened. Oof. Oh, this looks a bit dark. This is risky. King in yellow. Don't say his name. Why did everyone keep saying the king in yellow? Actually, in the whole stream, everyone kept saying that except me. Are you not supposed to say his name? Like, why did nobody tell me that? I'm just like continually saying it. Is that a thing? Where's my size 2 brush gone? Just over here. Right. Let's try this on. Let's try it down here to start with. Let's see. Nope, that's good. That's about the colour. That is about the colour we wanted. Whoever suggested it, I can't remember because it was about 10 hours ago. It's taken me this long to get to. It wasn't 10 hours ago. It was only 2 hours ago because I just said how long I've been streaming. But this is good. I need to be... This doesn't want to be a super thick coat like I've just done. So I am going to be moving that around. I don't want it pooling super dark and obscuring some of the detail because there's detail in there. Just be a little bit more careful with this one. I'm still going to do it in one go. It's going to be thick enough that it's one go, but sometimes you can just slap it on and not even care. This I just want it to have one thick coat, but no massive pooling, I don't think. Also because it'll take forever to dry. This is a really good colour, guys. I left the artwork up. Guys, this is so good. So good. Just look at it. It's amazing, isn't it? Anyway, thanks for watching. And let's get that off screen. I think the chat's thanks, Jen. I think the chat is so massively delayed that, you know, it's actual minutes probably before anybody could ever alert me to anything. So yeah, I did not mean to leave the picture up while I was telling you it was actually looking really good. So I tested it at the bottom. this was the very first bit I painted just to see if the colour was okay, and that's when I was like, yeah, that colour's great. This is exactly the right colour. So, and I wish I remembered who'd said it, but it was a good call, because I would never have picked this colour, not in a million years. So, fair play, credit where credit's due. If only I remembered who'd said it, and I don't think he can still be here, because he'd be going, "It was me, I got you good." So yeah, it's a good choice. I'm impressed. I mean, that is one of the true benefits to streaming. You guys can do my work for me, and we can come to a good conclusion. So anybody else who's watching this to actually work out how to paint this, Fire Slayer Flesh. I had to look what the other word was. I couldn't remember, and I'd never used this, so I bought it for whatever reason. Never got round to using it. I could feel when I opened it, it did that cracking as it opened. So yeah, nice. And yeah, it's going well. It's going well. And the other tentacles were the same, weren't they? They were all the same, except the mouth ones are like a red. So I'll use a different colour for the mouth ones. I'm gonna actually paint all of the bottoms just so I can tick it off. It's just really hard to get to. You see how I wanted to move up. I was like quitting. When the going gets tough, I'll just go and paint a different bit and assume these tentacles will move into a position I can get to them. I'd forgot that this guy was a proper chore, and now remembering why I've not painted him for the last 2 hours and 10 minutes or something, because these tentacles are properly in the way. Get out of my way, tentacles. Oh, Tentacruel, is that a Pokemon? Let's just bring back some memories. Back when the good old days of 151. I think. Whoops, that definitely caught on somewhere I didn't mean to. I don't think it matters. You can barely see behind this guy, so I don't think anyone's going to judge me because there's random colours caught on various places. You guys can judge me because you're here, but when I play this game in 2025, my friends will not notice. Will be able to judge me. Also, I keep saying friends like I've got any. Sad times. Sad times. Eee. I think we should get Whippy Wife to come and sit on the stream so she can chat. She could have painted this. I've not got her to do any contrast painting yet. Like, I think she's missing out on a world of easy wins. I think I've said it. Oh, I've just wiped my brush on my dry brush paper. Saddest of times. So, what colours? What colour are these Minnie Mouths? Which one is this? Seaman. Anybody can tell what colour that is? Can anyone bring up the picture on their computer and see? Like there's little tongues coming out of some. These are red. These are this Fire Slayer, and then there's these bonus ones which I can't tell what they are at all. No idea. Let's pick up the pace and get this one done. How are you doing, Phil? How's your pace at the moment? I feel like I've slowed down. Just going to actively try and paint fast now. Just crack this one out. Tentacles everywhere. There's a lot of reach arounds going on for this one. We're going to go on to... I'm not sure how to highlight this one up. I have to bring up the artwork for an indefinite period of time in a minute. Start thinking about that. Got his mouth caught. That's that one, that's that one, that's that one. Let's just do this one too. This is the last. Oh no, I've got this. Oh no. There's the fire. I was going to say this is the last large Cthulhu Death May Die miniature left to paint. Those fire demons. Has anybody done the fire demons yet? No, they're not demons. Sorry, fire vampires. Not that that really matters. Fire monsters. Like, they look so difficult. We were discussing doing them, and I don't want to do them. That's probably almost definitely not going to be contrast. I might do a quick base jobby with contrast, but that's going to take some actual effort to paint those like fire, especially with like a glowy belly and that sort of thing. So yeah, so I'll have painted every big monster in the game except those which I may never get round to doing. I'm actually scared of doing those ones. Right, so I've got to let this dry, except the red's miles away, so I'm gonna do his mouth tentacles, his tongues. Oh, you finished the first wash on Shaggy. So you're gonna be at this stage when it's dry. Have you got to wait for it to dry? I take it. Although I'm not even sure what you're gonna do after, Phil. What's next? The semen has so many spots I've missed for the tentacles. Yep. Yeah. It's impossible. I can see I've missed some now, but just for the benefit of time, just trying to speed it up a little bit. I'm actually just gonna leave some of it blank. You guys can fill in the blanks with your brains. I think I don't need to catch every little bit. Unfortunately, Phil, you do, because it's your miniature. I will go back and tidy this up after the stream. But yeah, I'll just in the what's that phrase? Just for the time. I just want to do it a little bit faster. So was I just painting this off camera? I don't even know. So I'm going for this is Blood Angels Red, another contrast. I'm just gonna paint his mouth tentacles in this red, because I think that's what colour that was. Did anybody? What colour? Dry brushing next on Shaggy. Yeah, I've got some dry brushing to do, but I don't know what to do. What colour are you doing, Siemens? What are these tongues, Phil? What colour have you done these? If you've done the base coat, and this little mouth bit, like the mouth bit looks a bit white actually to me. But I don't know about that tongue. Need to sort something for it. But I don't know what yet. Yep, this red's making lightweight work of this bit. Yes. So I've just got to wait for that to dry. I just need to know the other colour to paint. Oh, you got to put the picture on Discord? Let's have a look. Discord. Let me, oh nice, yours is way bluer. Let me just add that. I hope you don't mind me sharing that, Phil. You've added a browser source. Does that just appear on the stream? Like, chewy beans, you could have let me hide it first. So look at this. So Phil's painting this properly. He's painting it with normal paint. He's not using contrast. Oh, you've gone for the same colour on the little tongues as well. So that's nice. I really like the blue of your Shaggy, your Shaggoth. I think that's that's really nice, actually, guys. You should consider that. I think that's quite a lot more interesting. Yeah, that blue's real nice. What colour did you do those tongs? I'm less sure on that, but I guess you haven't washed them yet. But yeah, Shaggy's looking good. That's a really nice colour, actually. I think I prefer that to my boring black. I wish while I was sharing that picture I actually rearranged my desk, so when I flicked back to mine it was all arranged in the exact same way as your picture. That'd have been a brain fart, fuck, something. That was Incubu Darkness. Which brand's that? I've never even heard of that one. I think it looked good though, but I'm gonna follow your lead because you did his mouth tongues and his baby mouth tongues in the same colour. So I'm just gonna do that just for being able to move on with my life, if nothing else, because I can't tell what colour these are supposed to be. And I think red will look fine. Make them all look hand tongues and mouth tongues all the same. Try and get this in there. Oh, guys, if you ever want to join in the Discord fund, so Phil shared that on Discord, and that's one of the perks of supporting via Patreon. It only requires a minimum of $1, and you can only, if money's an issue, you only have to do it once, and you get lifetime subscription to Discord, and we won't really hold that against you. But yeah, Discord's fun. You get to chat to myself, Austin, Benson sometimes around, and then a load of really good painters actually, and friendly peeps like Phil, who's now trying to keep up with me painting properly. So good luck, but he's doing well so far. He's not far off. I will definitely be finished before, but I'm surprised you're that close, Phil. To be honest, I thought you'd still be waiting for the primer to dry. So I painted those little red tongues on. They're looking good. Oh, it's Citadel. That's why I didn't know it. Benson would have known it. Screamer pink. I wanted to do bright pink. I'm not sure I loved how the tongue looked though. I'm not sure I love how this red looks either. So we'll see. We'll see which is better. So that's a bunch of that done. Leave that to dry. Let's have a look at Shaggy. Let's see what he wants doing to him. Where is it? Over here. So he wants bright red eyes. And that's it. And I'm going to go for I think a purple. I'm going to go for... I'm tempted to not even bother. Should I bother giving him like a bit of a hue? Maybe. Yeah, I think a purple. He's a bit green underneath as well, but I don't know if... Yeah, we can do that. I'm going to copy the artwork as close as I can. A bit of a green dry brush underneath and a purple dry brush on top. It's just I have to find those colours. You've not painted the Hunting Horrors. Yeah, I guess I've done those two, but then they won't take you very long, especially if you prime them in black and then just dry brush them up. Bear with me while I want to find Grimoire purple. I think that's the purple I want, which I can't find. I found Alien purple, not the purple I was looking for. And I want a really dark green, like, what's the dark green by Army Painter? Elf green? Let's have a look at that artwork again. Yeah, maybe elf green. I was thinking like a darker green, not a duller green though. But I can't remember what the dark green's called. Also, it's going to be like near impossible. Near impossible / find it straight away. Angel green. Not sure. I think I want the muted colours, which is the elf, and I want that Grimoire purple. I don't know where that is. I had it the other day. That's the problem. Like when you've used it the other day, is it just on my desk somewhere, or did I put it away? Brown, blues, about 5,000 shades of blue now. Let's pick this up. Have a look on my knee. I've got to fix my paint storage soon because this is tedious. This is real tedious. There we go, got it. Yeah, this is way more muted. So I'm going to go for this grimoire. Grimoire? Don't know how you pronounce that word. Purple. Give it a quick shake. Oh. Treat yourself and shake 2 at once. Saves you a little bit of time. Oh, these haven't got the agitators in. I can hear and feel that it's going to take me a bit longer, but I can hear them sloshing around at least. Let's see how we're doing. Notice my shaking's getting less and less as the stream goes on, as the night goes on, as it gets later and later. It's just like, yeah, just shake it twice, it'll be fine. That's the worst that can happen. Let's start. I meant to start with the green actually. I've just put some purple on my palette, but we'll get some. We'll go for elf green first. Oh, which is the runniest paint in the world, except it was stored upside down, so it's come out really thick, which is actually what I want when I'm dry brushing. Move that out the way. Smash a load of things out the way by mistake. Then we want our dry brush and we want our dry kitchen paper. We're going to grab some green, working it into the bristles again. Oh, this time I probably do want the actual the makeup brush, but we'll cope with this. So in the artwork, let's just remind ourselves and block the view for ages. Use just a bit of green in places. So I'm just adding some green, and I'll primarily try and do it from underneath. So we'll add a green tint to the bottom side of him, all the bottoms of his tentacles. Just dry brushing this on, and he's got loads and loads. He's like ribbed for your pleasure. So we're going to get plenty of green catching on all those ribs. Let's move this out of the way if it makes it focus a little bit better. And I'm just going to go for a very, very light, subtle hue of green underneath him, basically. And I don't mind, the green can go on a bit over the top. Like I don't mind if this catches in places I don't want it, because we're going to do the purple afterwards, and that's going to go sit on top of this green, so it doesn't matter too much if I catch it in a few places I don't want it to be, because it's going to get covered with the purple pass. So I get under here, just to get a bit more on the brush. Ooh. Oh, it's really, really thick. It really was not mixed well. It'll do. Let's get the under. Oh, that's way too thick. Let's settle that down. Oh, look, primer's missed, or the contrast's missed. Something's missed. Definitely not me. I'm not taking the blame. But yeah, like I said, off stream for time reasons, I'll tidy this up afterwards. You guys get the gist. You know there won't be mistakes later on. There probably still will be, but it'll be better. There won't be big patches of contrast missing. I'll upload a finished picture of the Yellow King. I still don't know if we're not supposed to say his name or something, because I noticed that I'm the only person who ever says it. Either you guys don't know his name as well, or you're not actually supposed to say his name. I don't know about the mythology. Right, there we go. So this guy's looking nice. He's got this bit of a green hue, and hopefully it's just going to be from one side in a minute once I do the top side in the light purple. And when I say light, I mean like a light touch. It's going to be this grimoire purple, which hopefully you can see is here. It's just like really muted. It's really dull, so it's going to apply quite subtly, hopefully. And it's quite dark as well, so it's barely going to be noticeable, which is what I want. So I'm going to go for like the top sides of his tentacle now. Blending this down. I don't mind if it blends with the green as well. Just adding a little bit of colour to this little guy. And the black contrast, just giving it a really good base, darkening down these colours a lot as well. Ooh, get this one. quite difficult. I'm trying to brush like against the grain of these ribs on his tentacles, except like each tentacle's facing a different way. So that's why I keep oopsing, because suddenly I'll be like painting into the grain, so it's not catching on the raised parts, it's just painting it purple, which is not what I was trying to achieve. Thanks, Drizzle. Glad to see you here. Have you been here long? You just popped in? Because so far we've got pretty much 2 winged horrors, hunting horrors finished, and we've done quite a bit of work on whatever his name is, Seaman, and just catching up Shaggy here, and he's nearly done now, I'd say. Just giving him a bit of colour. Whoa, that one did not go to plan. Just going on a bit thick here. I think I didn't wipe off enough. Just get that under control. But it's wiping off it dead easy too, which is nice. Correcting my mistakes quite easily. Ooh, I went from underneath there. Trying to keep the purple a bit more to the top, but honestly, I don't think it matters. I'm just trying to add a bit of random hue and colour to him, make him look a bit more like organic. I think that's it though. Ooh, let's just catch a bit on here. I'm going to tidy up some of it later on, but that's roughly what I'm going to be going for here. And I think that looks fine. Looks creature-like, organic-like. Got a few random colours mixed in, just subtle, just adding a hint. Like, it looks black mostly, and then just now and again the light catches in various places. Like, oh, is he actually purple? Oh, is he actually green? I keep smashing semen into everything. It's most annoying. I don't know whether to do anything with his mouth. Probably not. Like, it's contrasted. It's done what it's supposed to do. I might do a light dry brush off camera of a paler brown, probably, just like something to give a bit of a stronger highlight. But that's it really. Don't think do much else. I think this guy's got bright red eyes, hasn't he? Yeah. So I was thinking about using the gem paint. Do you guys think glistening blood or the gem paint again? This failed me on the last one. This Spirit Stone Red, it just did not come out how I wanted it to. Now I think you're supposed to base coat, I think it's like silver, so I will paint his eyes silver before I do this, or I could just cut to the chase and and just use glistening blood and just get some bright glossy red eyes. What do you guys think? I'd like to try. I think I'd like to try the Spirit Stone. It's just different, isn't it? It's interesting. Excuse me. So I'm going to splash on a bit of silver. Let's just do one, and see how that comes across. But and somebody, if anybody knows about the technical gemstone paints, I can't remember what colour it's supposed to be underneath. I'm sure it's something weird, like a splash of silver to give it like glistening effect. I think it'll do. Either way, we'll be finding out how silver works under it. Which one should I go for? Which one's like most out of the way? Let's go for this one here. So I don't want to paint right up to the edges. I don't mind leaving it with like a black border. I think it'll look more realistic. Also, silver looks quite cool. Something like, how's that look? Like silver eye. Woo! So I'll just let that dry for a second, and then we'll try the gemstone paint. These eyes might be big enough that I can actually do that. Is this glistening blood completely dry? Yeah. Damn, I should have used the wet palette. But you can see how like it's not so hot here that the wet palette matters too much, because I actually thought it still might be dry because it takes that long for paint to dry. And I don't mind this being quite dry. Let me find the 000 again. So I'm going to paint this hunting horrors eyes in again. We're going to see how the red does. Finally, we're getting back round to the red. If I can see one of them. Oh, too much on my brush. Looks nice. So I've not watered this down at all, by the way. I'm just going in straight out the pot because I just want to put a really bright dot on his eyes. So I've got those 3 done. The red actually looks quite nice against the blue. I think it makes it stand out more than blue. Although blue would have been nice to match this one being particularly blue. I do think the red, and maybe I should do blue on the red one. Cross them over just to give a feature that stands out a bit more. Here we go. Last one on this side. Perfect. Yes. 0 slips except that one on the other one. But I fixed it, so nobody will know unless you watch this back. One more. This brush is so accurate, guys. These are very, very small eyes. This miniature is nowhere near my face. I can barely see where I'm aiming. I haven't missed one yet, and normally I like that I pre-record my videos because I can fix that I've missed it a million times and you guys don't have to watch me fixing it live. But I've not had to fix anything except one, but it was my fault. I was talking. See, now I'm even talking while doing it. This brush is phenomenal. I couldn't paint, I couldn't give them pupils though. Luckily, they don't have them in the artwork, so there we go. I will probably, can you guys see that? I will probably give them all these eyes a second coat just to make them a little bit brighter and make those eyes stand out that a little bit more, because it's one of the few features, and that is so small you can't see it on the table, which is a shame because it looks good. But a second coat will make that slightly better, hopefully. But it's still not going to make a miracle. It's not going to make the eyes any bigger. It's still going to be they're still going to be teeny tiny eyes. So I think I'm finished with these guys, other than I'm going to paint the bases completely black and tidy them up a bit off camera. But that is the 2 hunting horrors. I might blend this a bit more and just get that blue a bit more subtle. But everyone, you know, it's very subjective. Everybody likes different stuff. I like them both. I think, personally, even though this is more boring, the blue's so much better. This is too bright for me. Like I said, it's subjective. Some of you prefer that. But I actually prefer the blue exoskeleton to the red, and I thought the red was sweet. But that's those 2 done. So if you like it, follow along, copy all of that. If you don't, mix it up. If you like, you could use different dry brushing though. You could, purple would work, pink. If you've got quite a musky pink would probably work pretty well too. If you like pink, that could be a good one. This is dry now, so let's try it. Let's try Spirit Stone. I dislike how long this takes to dry as well. So not only is this just an experiment, I'm gonna have to wait actual time for this to dry, before I can work out if it's good or not. So let's get a blob. Not too much on my brush. The problem is it's still quite a small area. And the idea was, I'm just going to wipe some more off, is you're supposed to put it at the bottom and then drag up. I don't know, just looks meh to me. I'm just going to do it again because I think it needs to be thicker. Because I don't want it to look silver. I just want it to use the silver to make it sparkle. That actually looks fine. That looks pretty good, actually. And it's not dried yet. It doesn't look like a gem at the moment, which his eyes, I think, look a bit gem-like, so that's what I'm going to be going for. But that might come in as it dries, so we'll leave that one to dry. And we'll see how that I think that looks good. That looks really nice. It looks like it's varied. So if I'd used glistening blood, it was just going to look all red, and I was going to have to highlight it and stuff. Whereas it looks kind of like alive and like got different colours, like it's lighter and darker in places, like a gem's supposed to be. How's this guy doing? Mediocre, but and yet done at the same time. What do we need to do with him? Let's have a look on the picture again. So this guy's a bit purple, I think. Phil, what are you going to do with yours? I think I might dry brush some purple on the grey, and definitely need some white on his tentacles, so we can work on the white. And I won't go with actual white. We'll use an off-white, like this crushed skull, which is it's quite white, but it's not quite white. And I think that'll look better than a ridiculously bright white. Give this a quick shake, and then we're going to be dry brushing that as well. So this is one of my problems with the stream, and I've mentioned it last time as well. Like, I don't know, are you guys happy sitting and watching me paint all of these eyes in? Because I kind of want to see what it looks like when it's finished. I want you guys to see what it looks like when it's finished. But at the same time, it's going to take me a long time to paint a load of eyes in. Like, I've got nothing more to say other than I'm going to do the same process. Like, I think he's got like 20 eyes, and it wasn't a fast process. I'm dry brushing this on. Let that dry out a little bit, and I'll use up some of this silver because I'm going with that. I'm going with his eyes. I think it looked good, so I'm going to do exactly the same. While somebody tells me to zoom ahead and don't bother showing you all of these, but I'll paint some in just while I've got some paint. Again, I've not watered any of this down. Putting a thin coat on, but it's no water in this. I very rarely water down my metallics. I think they don't water down very well. Don't bother thinning them. If you need to, you can get thinning substances, but water just, to me, separates the like sparkles, whatever's in it, that makes it glisten from the actual paint. So you just end up with a rubbish paint to apply. And I think I've only thinned once when I just wanted like a subtle silver effect on top of my paints. The rest of the time I've never thinned, and I think my metallics always look fine. Also, this thing having silver eyes looks cool as well against all the black. I hope these are all eyes. I'm just painting all these lumps, just assuming. What on earth is this creature? It's just tentacles and eyeballs. Just the way I like them. All eyes and tentacles. Nice. You're going to dry brush some purple, and then you're done with it, probably. Oh, yours is dark brown. Oh, yeah. I think grey's better. I'm not sure about the dark brown. But I think I'm just going to dry brush some purple on as well, Phil. I think that's probably the right move. Are you finding these miniatures quite simple to paint, Phil? Because I am. Like, they're quite detailed, but they're like easy paint schemes. And easy to paint, other than reaching 1 billion tentacles. That's the only difficult bit. I think they actually paint up quite quick. Like I said, I've done all but those fire vampires, which ain't going to paint quick. And then I'm on to the hordes. And with the hordes, I noticed a bunch of them are just like cultists. So let me know, either in the chat or the comments below, if you care to see any of those. But I'm probably just gonna contrast them. They're just like red. Either contrast them or use Army Painter's colour primer and just prime them red and then wash them. Like, it's gonna be another bunch that's really easy. I need to get around to some investigators though, because they are way more unique, aren't they? There's going to be some actual painting to do there. But I'm enjoying whizzing through this entire game really quickly. I'm going to be in a good position to play this with like most of it painted. Nice. I also think I want to get Benson to come over and stream with us as well. I think that'll make quite a different style. We could maybe paint two things at once as well. I don't know if there's room. If we zoomed out enough, there'd be room. I guess another pair of hands would help as well with like this bit, right? Somebody else could just be doing this work without us needing to see each one. So we'd be able to have the miniatures. You'd be able to see what they look like completely finished without having to watch the whole process. Is this an eye on his back? It's the only one that's sticking out. If it is, that's not him. Which one is he? Shaggy, where you at? Yeah, I think that's an eye. That's weird. Oh, hey, Missy. How's it going? How's your weekend? Happy weekend and all. Yes, Phil. That's the point. Yeah, that's a good point. It's the lack of color changes that's making them really fast, isn't it? That's something that took me a while to realize, that slower miniatures are just ones where you need more colors. The more colors they use, that really adds to slowing it all down, especially given the amount of shaking paints take. That really adds to it when you've got to shake 10, 20 paints. Right, that's all of his eyes done. What do you think? Take that in. Like, you could just give him silver eyes. I think that looks so good. Oh no, I'll have to fix that bit up. I got a bit of extra silver, but I actually think silver eyes looks really good. Like, it's so contrasting. Where's that red one at? His red one's fine as well. That's also contrasting, so can't lose. Do either or. So let's just let that dry for 2 secs. And I was going to dry brush this guy's... which ones are these? Like, hand... These are his hand tentacles. I also didn't get anywhere near enough creamy paint out. So that's for this. So this is overbrushing for definite. Going in a bit strong on the tip. So just getting that quite white. And this is another thing where I didn't realise this was a technique, because I often dry brush and I start off overbrushing. I've just got more paint on than I want, and it's not necessarily on purpose, it's normally by accident, but I often find I'm using dry brush to blend, like here, so I want it to be overbrushed at the start, and I'm just working off some of my paint instead of on the towel. I'm working it off on the bit I want the strongest effect on, and then it goes from overbrushing to dry brushing just naturally. It also makes it blend a lot better as well when you do that, I think. So now there's way less paint on the brush, and now it's turning into dry brushing right on cue. So they're looking exactly as I want. Now I'll probably, after the stream, go and not dry brush on some of this white on the very ends. I'll probably just paint the actual tips properly, give or take. It's just because the dry brush is getting way too close to all the rest of the miniature, which I don't want to go white. So this is a big one, so I'm going to dry brush further up on this. But yeah, I can't get like round the back and stuff as easily as I want to, and I want it to be white round there, so I'll probably just apply some paint directly and just make this way whiter. You'll see. Stay tuned. Instagram, check out the pictures. I'll post something up. But yeah, just something like that. Simple as that. And I just naturally blended it. Over then I've got to tidy it up a bit. But just going from overbrushing to taking the paint off on it, and then it turned into dry brushing. Happy weekend. It's okay. Just go. Whoa, you working, Missy? Damn. That's what Saturdays are for. What did you have for dinner? I'm so hungry. I'm pretty sure I was talking about food at the start of the stream, and it's now been what are we up to? 3 hours. I want food. Oh, nice. Oh, I'm glad you were excited to see it live. Yeah, Missy, you've been missing out. We're painting 4 We painted 5 last time, we're going for 4 this time, but they're a lot bigger. And Phil's been painting along. Normally I'm using contrast. I've gone for 4. Phil's going for 2, but he's painting normally. He's keeping up well. He's nearly done his 2, and I've nearly done my 4. I'm going to do some more work after the stream, so I'm cheating a little bit. I'm going to quickly finish these, whereas I've actually probably got another half an hour to an hour's work between all of them. So I've not painted his little mouthpieces in. What are these all about? Let's have a look. I just can't tell what that is. I really can't tell what that colour is. Let's see if I've got it open in a browser in case it's bigger. So I'm a bit stuck. Here we go. Oh no, it's just like a blurry picture. It's the only one. The other ones are way easier to see. Oh, my internet's so slow, it's like someone's streaming. Oh no, they're just grey. It should have just been grey. Sorry, I've zoomed in now, and they should just be grey. So these bits are just going to be the basilicum grey as well. So I should just make them the same, and then that's it. Basically, yeah, like Phil said, I'm just going to dry brush some purple on him, which I've got some ready here. Yeah, let's fix him up a bit better, because it's going to be hard to see what he looks like if I don't do a bit of a better job. Where's the basilicum grey? Over here. Oh, your wife's hungry? Has she been talking for 3 hours non-stop? I'm so hungry. I might order a takeaway. I feel like I've earned one. What are you going to have food-wise? Give me some ideas, guys. What should I go and eat? It is really late here, so I probably shouldn't be having a massive meal before I go to bed. But it's also, I am absolutely starving. I think I went and had cheese and crackers after the last stream. I like a bit of cheese before bed. Give myself some crazy dreams. Right, that's better. Got that on there. To wait a minute though for that to dry. By a minute I mean like forever. Claws along the bottom that you did in bone colour too. Oh yeah, I saw the claws. I'll probably dry brush some bone. Yeah, that's a good point, Phil. There's some claws here which I probably don't want to be grey. I did them grey, but that was more for like shading purposes. I think I probably should colour them in. Some sort of bone colour will do though. There's a bit of mist here as well. Oh, there's so much tentacle that's just like impossible to see and reach places. Was that the only bit that I missed? No, there's another one here. It's just I happened to also paint it grey. There's 2 here actually. Let's get those both done. Something like that. Just going to add a bit more grey to his back here, because it would be darker anyway. And under his belly can be a bit darker. Right, that's better. I've given it some colour. That'll do. I'm pretty much done as well though. Same as Phil. Except I'm not going for dinner. I'm just actually nearly done. Because I just want to dry brush that purple. Obviously paint the base black as well. Excuse me, guys. Hobnobs are drier. Oh, some hobnobs. Oh, you guys are having biscuit talks. I freaking love biscuits, and Martin's just like, eat a custard cream. That would be amazing. I haven't got custard creams. I've got, what are the crackers called? Cream crackers. What are those cream crackers called? Cream crackers. I've got some of those. It's about the same, right? I could put some mayonnaise between some cream crackers. How do you guys feel about cream cracker sandwiches with mayonnaise? I think I'm onto something, right? Like, that sounds amazing, right? Yeah. But I love me some biscuits, guys. Did I mention that last time? Because it's true. And crisps and biscuits are like my go-to, my staple diet, my go-to snacks. And I laugh about being a staple diet, but definitely when I was at university, I lived for multiple days off a tub of biscuits. It's like, that's all I ate. Custard cream's good, hobnob's good. Love sharp cheddar cheese and pickles. Oh, I was watching CBeebies, which is a kids' TV channel in the UK. I was watching that this morning, and it was showing how to pickle cucumbers. And sorry, when I say I was watching it, Sophie was watching it, and I happened to be there. And it was showing how to pickle cucumbers, and it actually meant pickled gherkins. But I guess kids don't know what a gherkin is yet. But it just made me want pickles all day long. And I went to the shops specifically to buy pickles, and specifically did not buy any pickles. So, feel bad for me, man. Feel bad. And now you just reminded me that I wanted pickles. Cheese and pickles. I didn't even think about having it with cheese. I just wanted to eat a pickle. So, and now you reminded me. Oh, what time is it? Amazon. Is it Amazon o'clock? Do you think they'll deliver right now? I'll sign up to Prime to get that 2-hour delivery. Do you guys have that in the States? Probably more than we have it here. But like the 2-hour mode, because that sounds good for some pickles. Tuck. Oh, I'm not a fan of Tuck biscuits. No deal on those. Jen, do you not like mayonnaise? I didn't used to like mayonnaise. And FYI, just for the record, in case anybody thought I actually wanted to have mayonnaise crackers, that is not a thing I want. But I do have some cream crackers, not Jacob cream crackers, because they're expensive. I've got like the Tesco own brand. They're like extra dry, so you feel like you're choking every mouthful you have. I think this Spirit Stone. So this, if you guys don't know, this is a technical paint that Citadel make, and it's for painting gemstones. So with that, which is why I think you put the silver under it. And the idea is you apply a blob to the bottom of a gem and then stroke it up so it like leaves less paint on the bottom, makes it thicker on the top, which it gives the illusion of it being a gem. That's what I'm using here, and I think it's worked really nicely for his eyes. So that's him finished. That's his eyes done. That is actually him finished. I'm just going to paint the base black, and that's it. I mean, I might highlight a dry brush over these with a lighter bony colour just to make that look a bit more interesting. But he's done. I'll give him a coat of black on the base while we're waiting for the other fella to dry. I just wish I could find my dead black. It's so annoying. So I'm having to paint bases with awful blacks. Dead black. I found it. I have found it. Now it just needs some shaking. Pickle biscuits. Pickle biscuits. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I could have pickle biscuits. Pickles for life. I didn't used to like pickles. In fact, I'm not even sure I do. I just crave like the vinegar that they're in, and they go hand in hand with pickles. So I feel like I crave pickles now, whereas I never used to. I hated them. I always took them out of my burger as well, and now, yeah, I'm a big fan of pickles. But I still think it's probably the pickle, what they're sat in the vinegar. Is it vinegar? Because like I said, the CBeebies this morning, they were doing it in salt water. They were pickling it in salt water and garlic. Yeah, made my mouth water though. Oh, check this out. The coolness of using one of these Redgrass Games 360s. If you've not got one and you're interested, they ship worldwide. I think they're reasonably priced. There'll be affiliate links, and it is an actual affiliate link. I make 5% on it. It doesn't cost you any extra. And yeah, as you see, if you watch the channel, I don't use it all the time, but it's so good when you're using it for the right miniature. Like I'm just turning it with my finger and painting this base super easily. Not that it would be ridiculously difficult to do without it, but it's nice when a tool does its job. It's just like, oh, that's just that little bit easier. My life is just that little bit better. And look how much better this black is. I don't know if it comes across on camera, but it's not really streaky. I've not watered it down. It's just like, it's the right consistency. I'll need to do a second coat. Don't get me wrong, it's a 2-coater, but it's not streaky, and it is just 2 coats, and you're done. I don't know if it's all dead blacks. This is dead black, which is supposed to be the same as their matte black, but it's the zombie side set. And I've got matte black as well, actually. I should find that out. But I don't know if it's every single pot, or if I've just landed lucky and this is like perfectly mixed for 2 coats. Just got the right amount of flow, or whatever you'd call it, whatever that stuff is, medium. Oh no! Siemens down again. Oh no, dead black's down. It's all going Pete Tong. Oh yeah, Jenny, your cat's called Gherkin. I forgot. Oh, I proper want some gherkins. What day is it? It's Saturday. I think Tesco's is still open. I might go for a cash walk there in a minute. I'm gonna give me a thumbs up if you want a live stream of my walk to to Tesco's to eat gherkins. I think you might want to pass on that, but it would be enjoyable. Oh, that one's really wobbly because it's the prototype base 360. Oh yeah, that was the prototype one I was using there, bigging it up. This is the real one. It's actually way smoother, and the prototype was smooth. Nothing really wrong with it. It was 3D printed. It's not quite as smooth on the spin or smooth in your hand to hold, but I'm still using the prototypes. They're fine. They didn't change it massively. They just had it properly produced. Pickles for life. If I had cheese, I can't say that word. Kosher. I literally said it yesterday, and my wife laughed because I said it wrong. Hopefully I say it right now. I've not seen it written down ever. I've only heard it said, and then when I see it written, I can't say words properly. Not that I can say any word properly. Words are hard, guys. Oh, look, I've got streaks in this. I've gone on way too thick. Let's fix those streaks. Look, gone. So as long as you're careful with this, it just goes on so good. I've hardly got any left. This is this first war paint I think I'm going to run out of. I've run out of washers. I'm on my second set of some washers, but I've never used up a whole war paint, and it's not dried out, and it's been 4 years or something now. But black's going to be the first one I run out of, I think. And that's probably only because I spilt it once the lid fell off. It got stuck inside the lid, and I pulled it off, and I wasn't looking, and I just poured it on the palette and looked back, and it was like the whole thing was in it. I've got some really nice cheeses in the fridge as well. Now we just took out cheese stream, and it's got chili in it. I really like. I've got this chili cheese. I've got some blue cheese. I've got some. What does Gromit eat? Wallace and Gromit. What's that cheese? Wensleydale. I've got some nice Wensleydale, and I think it's whiskey o'clock, guys. I think I've gone long enough without a treat. Let's get a little schmidge, just a tiny little bit. Smells like sheep dip. Delicious victory sips coming up because we are nearly done. We're nearly there, guys. Should we finish the stream with some ASMR painting? Do any of you guys actually watch ASMR videos as well? Because I don't. Doesn't do very much for me, but I understand it's a treat for most people. I have considered doing some painting videos like it, just for lols, just because it's quite a challenge for me to talk softly as well. I've got like the opposite of soft voice, hard voice. I don't know what the opposite is. I also don't know how you could ASMR painting. Like, can you guys hear the brush strokes if I'm very quiet? Probably not. So I feel like I don't know if you could do it. I'd have to get the mic so close to the brush, and I'd have to use like really dry brushes. just dry brush constant, so it's like. You took your paints out of your little totes, finally displayed some on my desk. You've displayed some paints on your desk. Have you ever finished a model yet, Missy? I'm sure I've never seen a complete miniature from you. I think if that is the case, I think we're gonna have to set up a stream. I'll paint something and you try and paint it at the same time, just like Phil's been doing this one. And we'll do that. You pick a miniature and we'll do it. And it's a race. It doesn't have to be a race. You take your time. I'll just make sure you get it done, because you'll look bad. Also, yeah, to keep us up to date, I really like that Phil sent us a picture midstream. I thought that was really cool. And guys, if anybody else wants to do that, just let me know. Like, it's super cool if we can arrange some streams where we're all actually painting the same thing. And I'd really like to see your efforts as we're going along. I think that makes it really interesting. It kept me going as well, as I was really, really, really getting tired. And then seeing that Phil had cracked on, nearly done, and his was looking ace. I need to make sure I finish mine so mine look as good. I think some of it's quite unfair though. Some of the guys on the Discord are like infinitely better at painting than I am. Like Heroes and Bosses, I think, it's gone now. But he would school me. But he wouldn't. I don't think he could finish before I was finished. So he'd be like on the base coat, and I've finished all 4 miniatures. I'd like to think. I don't actually know how long it takes him to paint. I know Banda takes about a month per 28mm miniature. Nice, Phil. Oh, Phil's sent the pictures on Discord. Let's have a look. See how Phil's done. Oh, night, man. Have a good weekend. Thanks for stopping by. ASMR with a mouthful of biscuits. that I do. Yeah, definitely. If you're ever on the phone with me, you'd unfortunately have to put up with that. Oh, Phil, it's put the picture's sideways. How do I rotate it? I want to show everyone. That was your previous one. Oh, you showed the mouth. I missed that one. Your pictures are sideways, Phil. It'll take me too long to fix it. I've got no paint on this cutting mat so far. I'm going to do it in a second. My green one just was covered in paint. How are you guys finding the grey background? Is it okay? I was never sure about grey. Also, it does weird things because I'm really pale. The white balancing kicks in and off, all in and out and off, on and off all the time. I don't know if it's doing it too much because I've probably got loads of stuff, but when I'm just filming and not streaming, I know it's going to go mental. It's not going to be a pretty sight. I've run out of dead black, but I don't want to get any more out. I'm almost there. He says, I missed loads on this back. It's because it's not on a spinny RGG 360. That's the problem there. Yeah, it does. Yeah, Phil's looks really good. Julio, can you get the picture and turn it sideways for me? Can you just flip it 90 degrees and then I'll just share it so everyone can see? Because it does look good. Washes are still drying. That's I found that a lot when I'm painting. I do it in two steps normally when I'm making a video for the channel, and I nearly always go to bed when I put the washers on because it just takes way too long. Oh, cheers, Phil. Phil's flipped it himself. Let me just grab it so you guys can see. Yeah, that's nice. You've got it to. That looks like exactly the same as mine, except you didn't use contrast, which is another thing. I'm going to paint some of the. There's like a demon with wings. I think I might do one with contrast and one with normal paint, and you can achieve like exactly the same. And it's not like it was much more effort for you. It's more time consuming, but only because you've got to wait a bit longer, I guess. But I want to do one of them, one of each. I'm trying to find how to share this in here. Put this on. So that's how they were before, and then we've got them to looking like this now. That looks good. I mean, I'm a little bit further on, guys. So let's see if I can get it in in the same position when it comes back on. So I'll flick them back, but I'm basically a little bit further on because mine's dried a bit faster. But they're looking really, really similar. I've used contrast though, I guess, which you can see I've got the highlights for free. Phil's still got the dry brushing to do, the re-highlighting. But he's got to wait for the wash to dry now. I mean, I've been waiting for contrast to dry all night, so it's not like I've not had my fair share of waiting. It's why I've done 4. So, right, guys, Shaggoth. He's pretty much done. I'll probably do another coat of black on the base, but this is it. This is what he's looking like. And so I've painted 4 miniatures in 3 hours and 20. And I've got a little bit more tidying up to do, but it gives you a good idea that each of these is well under an hour, and you probably aren't talking and filming it while you're doing it, so you're probably in a good position to get in. Like, I think that's great. I really like the eyes. I think that those eyes came out exactly as I wanted. They're super bright, really bold, exactly like in the artwork. Probably going to add a dry brush of some light bone here, a second coat of black on that, and that's. I mean, there's a few bits and pieces where I've missed with the contrast in the tentacle holes. I will fix that, but that's what it's going to look like, guys. If you follow along with that, then you've got these hunting horrors. So these are completely finished now. I've done the base again. I've missed a little bit of contrast there. I will obviously fix that up. So just a general gist. I'll probably do another coat of red on the eyes and hope it pops it out, but I doubt it. My hopes are pretty weak there, but I'll do it anyway because it won't take me a minute. And I'll probably try and blend these a little bit better. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'll go away and think about that. But roughly that's how it looks. So that's the blue one. Poor little guy. They're all getting so bashed around. And then the red one. So it's exactly painted in the same way, but a dry brush with that crusted saw. I think that's quite subtle, actually, that one. Especially because the wings aren't really bright. I might even dry brush these with a dark or light grey just to brighten those up a little bit, but that's basically done. Yeah, I was just trying to think if I needed to do anything. I think they're pretty much done. They're super easy. They're not very much time at all. So he's done. So we've only got Seaman left to go. Cthonian. Yeah, I think that's his name. I'm trying to look if that contrast I did is dry. I think it is, and I've only got really one step to do on this. I'll probably work out some highlighting on here, just lighten it up a little bit, fade it back a bit. So I'll probably use pink, probably get some pink. I might do that in a second if I can think. But I've got this Grimoire purple. It's really, really dry now, which is great. It's just been sat there for ages waiting. So I'm probably going to go for some overbrushing. So I'm not going to take too much paint off there because I think the overbrushing will work fine. Because this is really, I'm almost tempted not to add any purple. God, what do you think, guys? Thanks, Phil. Thank you very much for painting with us. I enjoyed it too. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you finish it, do send us a finished picture. I might even put it up with mine so we can share. But yeah, guys, what do you think? Should I even add purple to this? I think it looks. I really like how it's self-highlighted itself. The contrasts actually come out really strong on this. And now I'm not sure whether to even add any purple because it's going to mask. It's going to go over the top of this light grey. Oh, I'm now thinking to abort because it's barely that purple in the picture. I think I'm aborting unless somebody tells me otherwise. You guys saw what a purple dry brush looks like on Shaggy. So you can get an idea for what that's going to look like. But I think I want to vary them slightly, and I think this guy's really, really strongly highlighted in grey. Thanks, Chuck. Yeah, I think the same. I think abort. Like I've been planning to do that the whole time, and I just think he's got such a strong contrast. Oh my god, they're killing each other. Chill out, guys. We're all friends here. There's I think it's highlighted itself. That's pretty much how I want it. Let's try and do something with the tongs then. Let's make them look a little bit better. Maybe even that purple would have been good for the tongue. I think I want a pink, but I want like a ready pink. I'm not entirely sure I've got a ready pink. Oh, hang on a minute. How could I make a ready pink? This is beyond my capabilities. Let me find a red first, though. Oh, this pile of paint's really disheartening me. It's so tiring finding any colour. Oh, I found my over glistening blood now. There we go. We've got red. So this is quite good. It's great having all the colours. You, yeah, it was live action combat. You weren't expecting that. Oh, when's the McGregor? What's the other guy called? Donald Cerrone. When's the fight? Is it on? Austin, you're there. I don't know if Austin's still here, but anybody know what time it's on, or if it's already been on? And don't tell me who won if it has. But I just remembered that it's actually fight night tonight, isn't it? So yeah, as I was saying, I was like, you don't need the colour. Like pink is ridiculously easy to make, and you don't even need white. This crushed skull's going to do it. It's going to do it softer. So I just add a splash of white to this red and put my hand in that green paint, which is annoying. Grab a cheap brush. And do I want to water this down? No, because I'm dry brushing it. So I'm going to add no water to this. I'm just going to see what colour this comes up with. Mixing colours, just don't be afraid, guys. It's really, really easy. And like the biggest fear when I was starting painting was that, you know, you mix up a colour, you're never going to get that colour again. And it's going to be a bother if you don't finish the miniature or you run out of the colour you're using halfway through and that sort of stuff. But it doesn't matter. If you can't mix up the same colour, just mix it up closely. You'll never notice the variance. And if anything, that variance is actually going to make the paint job look way more realistic. So that for me was the biggest fear with mixing colours. It wasn't that I thought it was particularly difficult to mix colours. It was that I was always afraid I was going to run out of that colour and then have to mix it up again and never get it exactly the same. But it doesn't matter. You don't need it exactly the same. No matter which part you're doing, it doesn't matter. You can always paint a bit over and blend it a bit together if you need to. But realistically, it just adds another slight variance in shade. Like, look at yourself, look at your skin tone. You've got like all sorts going on, and that's all you're really doing. If you're having to remix it up, you're just adding variation in the tones. So don't be afraid of mixing for that reason. And again, like I said, everyone's different. You probably don't have the same fears as me, but that was my biggest problem by far. So this is really subtle. This is not going as planned. I wanted to go a lot brighter than that, but again, not going to matter. Let's go with the subtle one. Let's Benson this. Let's full on Benson this. Do a million highlighting coats. Get it looking really subtle. So I'll take this basically as far up as I can without hitting the grey. And get plenty on the tips. So that's that done. And then let's grab, I'm trying to think what would make it brighter. I think maybe let's try some orange. Maybe. Try a bit of orange, just mix it up. Oh, this is going to be a prime example of how little it matters about mixing paints together. So my brush is wet, unfortunately, and I don't want to water this down at all, but let's get in some orange involved here. See what happens to this. It's going orange. Who'd have thought it? Who would have thought that? But an orangier red now. That's cool. Just a splash of orange in it. Different. Let's try it. Excuse me. Let's see how that looks. And because I'm dry brushing and getting on so little paint, we're not going to be obscuring much detail. If I don't like how this looks, we'll just go over it with some more paint in a second. I'm going to try and lightly do this. And also, because we're going on so light, the colour variance, it's just so subtle. But it's giving oh yeah, you can see that on camera better than I can in my eyes, but this is really making it look way more interesting. Definitely orange might not have been the right choice. I might have wanted to make it more pink, which is what I was trying to do, but I wanted like a brighter pink. But this orange it's enough. It's a colour, and it's way more interesting than just all of it being red, and it's blended reasonably well. And then I think, given that we went orange, let's just add a bit. Yeah, just a teeny tiny bit more orange. I don't want the actual neat orange. I'm not even going to rinse my brush, keeping it all dry, so it's still got the original paint that was mostly used up. But we'll mix that in with the dry brush, and then we're going to take. I'm not over brushing here. I want to really take most of that off. This time I'm just going to go just on the tips, just happy little tips. We'll just get those really bright on the end. So I wanted more of a pinky tone, but we ended up with orange, and it's fine. I just wanted it to not be uniform. Just wanted it to have a splash of interesting change to it. And that's it, guys. That's what's this one's name? It's Cthonian, I think. That's that him done. Oh, Knight the Crown? Creund? Hey man, you're completely welcome. I hope it was entertaining and occasionally thrown in with a little bit of advice, but thank you ever so much for watching. Really appreciate that. Glad you had a good time. You need more Pringles. Freaking Pringles! I still haven't had any Pringles. Yeah, you're right. I need some Pringles. Somebody get me some Pringles. I've earned a pack of Pringles, I think, if nothing else. And why have Pringles not sponsored me yet? They could sponsor me just to eat Pringles on the stream, because I would do that. I would happily eat Pringles all day long. You should keep your old multicolored Pringles palettes, attach them together for a collage, donate it to a museum. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, Chuck. My wife really, really, really loves how they look. I don't think I've got any to hand, because on the other side, because I do just fill it, I fill the whole space, and on the other side it does look really, it's really interesting. It's like a work of art. We considered like hanging them on the trees and stuff, because you could. It's a shame I haven't got any actually done anymore, but if you get two of them and glue them together or something, and you have to use your imagination, because they're not full, and they normally are full, and I normally use brighter colours, because I'm painting this, it's all dull and drabby, but my wife really likes them. But we found out that Sophie, just because I used to eat Pringles constantly to get more palettes, and then I found out, I just put my hand in the paint. It's really annoying. Then I found out, and I probably won't be able to demonstrate this very easily, but if you find, when it's dry, especially when it's completely full, you can just peel it, and when it's full, the whole thing just peels off, and you don't need to buy another Pringles, and you can just reuse it again. It's like completely clear. It doesn't take any cleaning whatsoever. You just peel one bit once you've built up enough paint, and then it just peels off. So where I was going with that is we found out that Sophie absolutely loves doing that. She actively asks me daily if I've got any Pringles lids for her to peel, and she'll sit next to the bin with a pile of them, just peeling off the paint. She absolutely loves it. It's crazy. I guess it's like, I remember being a kid and getting PVA glue all over my hands and really enjoying peeling it and doing it on purpose to peel PVA glue off my hands and that sort of stuff. So yeah. I actually don't eat anywhere near as many Pringles as I used to now, because I realised you can just clean the palette for no time. I used to throw it away thinking this is a great way of not having to clean a palette. Well, fantastic time saver. And then I found you can peel it. And it's like, oh, this is even easier. Piece of cake. You do need quite a few of them, because the washers and stuff. Well, you can see this one. If you add a wash, it's going to go everywhere. So you do need a pile of them, but it's fine. So there you go. Night. Julio, are you going to bed? Are you done? It's only 20 to 1. What are you talking about? Anyway. I'm just blabbling on, because guys, I'm finished. So we've been through the winged guys, we've been through Shaggy, and then I'm pretty finished with Seaman here. I've got some tidying up to do. There's bits missed. I'm gonna brighten up the very tips with some more layers of like a white, but this guy's done. That's it. That's 4 miniatures, guys. Hopefully you like them. They're not completely finished because it's stream, so I'm going to tidy them up. So stay tuned. Check out Instagram. Check out Patreon, guys. If you've got $1 to spare, I would massively appreciate it. We all would Watch It Paint It, and you guys can check us out and talk to us on Discord and see crazy things like the finished picture of this. But you can see it on Instagram as well. And I'm always going to make all of my content available to everyone, except some random exclusives. I'm not going to make tutorials that not everyone can watch, so don't worry about that. But I do appreciate some support, and obviously if you can, check out that GoFundMe so I can get a laptop and get back to making some actual videos and not just streaming. Massively appreciate that as well. Even a couple of dollars goes a long way. You would not to be surprised. It adds up with all the help that we get. So thank you everyone who supports us. It's been amazing. I've enjoyed 3 years. What a roller coaster ride. Cheers, Jen. Thanks for watching. Patiently peeling Frinkle's lids. That's Sophie's job. She freaking loves it. You won't believe it. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Hopefully, if you're watching this back, it's useful. But I think these all came out great. And like I said, that was 3.5 hours, guys, for 4 miniatures. So you also get to see it real on stream. You don't just have to take my words for it, that it takes me under an hour to paint a miniature, and that's under an hour while talking. Obviously, I've got contrast paints, but these are large miniatures, so I've done all I can. So there we go. Yeah, thanks, Chuck. Thank you. Yeah, I've had enough of tentacles, but I suspect there's probably some more tentacles in the Cthulhu game that I'll be able to find for the next time. And yeah, let us know if you're enjoying the streams, even if you watch them back afterwards, because obviously it's really good that I know what people enjoy, and I'll try and make content around that. So thanks everyone who tuned in, and thank you everybody who's watching it after the fact. Massive thanks. That's it, guys. I will catch you all soon. Have a very good night. See you guys.